Welcome to Worcester Council Theater 3000, everybody. This is now a fortnight show. We got Brendan Melican playing Fortnite with what appears to be some sort of pagan tree. I'm not sure.
That would be Lieutenant Evergreen.
Okay, there we go. All right, that's
Brian. I can't believe you didn't know that.
I'm sorry. These friggin' Generation Alphas, these damn Gen Zers with their Lieutenant Evergreens and their Peeleys and their John Wicks. Anyway, I'm Bryan O'Donnell. This is Bill Shaner. That's Lieutenant Evergreen up there. We're back for another week of I'm just gonna say it, stupidity. Okay.
And he's not talking about the Fortnite.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm talking about our old format, the Worcester City Council Meeting.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are still watching that.
Yeah, sorry, folks. We're gonna do both.
Come on. We're gonna talk about
No.
But yeah. So stupidity on the council tonight. We are looking at two items that were held last week because that's all city councils can do if they don't like something.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the ability to build in-law apartments and other accessory dwelling units on your property. Hotly contested. I expect that that's going to be either a close vote or it gets held again. And then lowering the citywide speed limit to 25 miles an hour so that we stop killing pedestrians. That's also proved controversial. Donna Colorio held that last week.
Speed, baby.
Speed, baby.
In Worcester. Starring Kate. Yeah, that'll probably get held, right?
Yeah, so I think they have to get 4 votes to hold these again since they held them last week. But it's unclear whether another counselor can just hold it under privilege or if it's the same item, you have to have a vote to hold it. But, we'll see. We'll see. It's other than that, there's really nothing on this agenda. But I expect that we'll get a lot of like the Mill Street set calling in.
Oh yeah.
It's still awesome. If anyone was wondering.
Otherwise, we just get to watch. I mean, the group chat this past week has just been flooded with Brendan's just tech considerations for how he can pull off playing Fortnite while he watches.
I'm really excited about this. This is the closest to like legit live streaming I will ever do.
We have a lot of high tech stuff going on here. Ready for this? Oh, I can just play guitar on the stream.
Yes.
Oh, Bergman's talking. I'm just gonna do it.
You can do live soundtrack to Fortnite.
I love it.
Yeah,
How
what place
annoying
are you in right now?
There's 14 left, but I'm pulling double-digit game right here, so
all right,
we're doing pretty good.
All right.
So those of you who don't know, I'm practicing guitar because I'm playing a show with Witch. My Rocky Erickson band is playing a show with Witch at Ralph's Rock Diner next Wednesday. And I don't know why I'm telling you because it's sold out. So,
just to make
you
you
want to
jealous.
get in, I can't get you in.
You want to get in? Then you should have bought tickets within 2 hours of the show getting announced.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any Witch fans in the house, but that's a way too big of a band to be playing at Ralph's kind of deal. And they don't play a lot. And Mike Z, the upstairs bartender, just worked his magic. I think he's been trying to get that show for like 10 years. So I originally said yes to it, not thinking that that it was going to be a real thing. And then Anthony was like, "Yeah, here's the flyer." I was like, "Fuck, I have to learn these parts." We got music, we got video games, we got politics, we got some special guests.
Yeah,
in the house.
We do have some special.
I don't know if one of our guests wants to come on.
He bounced out to. He's gonna come on after public comment.
Okay,
so it's still. I'm a toothpick guy now.
Oh, you're a toothpick guy?
I found
I thought you were always a toothpick guy.
Nicotine infused toothpicks.
Where did you find them?
On the internet.
I can't find them at any local smoke shops. I've been looking for some.
They were 2-day shipping. They're called Zip Picks. 2-day shipping. I got like 200 of them for like $20. I think I've used 10 of them so far. Like this, what I bought should last me another year. And it's, I mean, the downside is I still need the tablets because I'm not comfortable sleeping with a toothpick in my mouth.
Rookie.
Yeah, well, I'll learn.
no, I've honestly been looking for them, and that's awesome. You can find them on the internet. It's I have a nasty nicotine habit, and flying with them is terrible.
Yeah,
like flying without cigarettes, obviously. So I went.
You
with
just
gum
smoked
on
cigarettes
my
in the
last
bathroom.
They threw me off the plane for
normal
that last
American.
time. Like a
No,
real
no one.
American.
Yeah, no, that's wrong, fake. Also,
news.
what you can buy on the internet, check
Oh.
it out. Worcester sucks mug,
Ooh.
baby.
Oh, hell yeah.
BillShaner.bigcartel.com. It holds Lafrog quite nicely, I gotta say.
LaFrog.
Oh, Lafroig.
That shit sucks. Yeah, check it out.
A peaty,
Wow.
10-year aged scotch, right? Yeah.
Tastes like a pool of water at the bottom of a barn. Just like hay and shit. But I like
Yeah.
it.
I'm
It's
glad your
good,
sommelier career is working out for you.
Yeah. Can I interest you in the hay and shit?
We are the official band of Taco Tuesday.
That's so sick. Hey, did anybody read City Manager Eric Batista's Substack newsletter?
I didn't
I
get
couldn't.
around to it somehow.
I couldn't. I scrolled through it, and there was just too many words, and I couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you do with my newsletters too, right, Travis?
I mean, if I'm
lot of
being
words.
honest, yeah, I'm a pictures guy.
So
I'm making the pictures.
I don't know if there's any Michael Madden fans in the house. He's a funny Worcester guy, man about town. And there's only one comment on Eric Batista's article, and it's from Michael Madden. And it says, rewrite, write tight and be read. You're paid $275,000 a year. Hire a real writer and an actor to recite it. Reading this is as challenging as hearing you speak, but without the mumbles.
Wow.
So the reviews are in, folks. People, yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if the newsletter was written by AI, but it honestly, AI would do better.
Yeah. We should check it though. We should run it through one of those checkers that professor.
Oh, there
used.
are checkers.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think he's asking for subscribers, but I don't think he's charging.
He should charge.
Just
Come on,
charge.
man. Come on.
Get into the good graces of the city manager.
You guys know Peter Griffin is?
When Bill's shredding, we can't hear anybody.
Yeah.
Is that wicked loud?
It's pretty loud.
All right, I'll turn it down.
All out.
That's awesome. I have the power to drown everybody out.
So we got ADUs. We got Brendan's killing Peter Griffin. You think that's bad? What about the time I got killed by Lieutenant Evergreen? And yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot else on the agenda tonight. So I think we're gonna be getting a lot of Fortnite in, which I'm excited about. You know, it's really we got to maximize our potential on this show.
Is that a John Wick skin?
Not anymore. It used to be.
Nothing worse.
Now there's going to be a dog that comes to track you down and kill you now.
My girlfriend's nephew told me that I would look like John Wick if I had a better haircut a couple days ago.
Horse.
And I was like, hell yeah, that's sick.
How's your gun foo?
Oh, it's great. I love shooting guns.
Do you love karate chopping people with them?
Yeah, sure. Did all the time.
Cha. Yeah, not surprising though.
I
They're a small business. People don't realize. I didn't realize. I thought they were a function of the city hall. No, they were an independent business.
Yeah, no, it's a scam. It's a lobbying group.
Yeah, since our last stream, there's been 2 articles on 2 different news media that have featured my name. One on Telegram and Gazette, and one at Worcester Business Journal. They're both about the same thing, about the small business work we've been doing. But I got a call from the Telegram and Gazette guy, Veer, literally telling me, well, we're scooping Worcester Business Journal, so could you answer some questions? Sure, why not?
what a scoop.
Yeah, it wasn't even that big of an article. Both of them were fine at best. Eric quoted me as saying stuff that I don't remember saying, but it's very possible. I smoke a lot of cannabis.
That's just the lying
right.
fake media for you.
I want it. Chamber of Commerce. It's dependent on how many employees you have and what your annual operating budget is. It's a scale, but I think it starts at around 200 a year. No Jerks is free. And we're going to have an event in January. Then we're doing it at Birchtree. I'm just setting up final details.
Are we just skipping the meeting altogether tonight?
Well, so the public safety meeting just ended. So they're going to need some time. And it was appear that Kate Toomey is calling in tonight from somewhere with a lot of Vaseline on the lens.
Nice.
I didn't know there was a public safety meeting tonight. I wonder what they have to buy the cops.
When I joined it, it was just Kate Toomey saying that people don't understand how much the police help people and what they do. And it was just a whole lot of bootlicking.
That's awesome.
Oh, a liar. That's interesting. It's interesting to lie.
Yeah.
I always find that so interesting to lie. Let's see what was on there. Transmitting informal communication relative to the weapon. She asked for this last week. Weapons confiscated in 2023.
Boring.
Communication relative to the use of a robot in critical police incidents, along with the benefits of such use. Communication relative to a report on whether body-worn cameras are on when police respond to evictions and foreclosures. And communication relative to a police cadet program that will impact the representation and demographics of underrepresented groups within the police workforce. Yawn.
Yawn.
So, yeah, she calls a meeting when she needs to do a little PR.
That's kind of what it seems.
The PD.
Yeah, what they do. Interesting.
Oh shit! They circumvented them because we vetoed it like assholes yesterday, right? That's cool. It would be cool if the UN then invaded America to enforce it. Just saying. We could use rescuing.
Hope nobody has plans to go to Providence anytime soon. Did you hear about Washington Bridge? The Washington
No,
Bridge.
I didn't.
They closed it for 3 months starting today because RIDOT acknowledged that there were pins falling out and that there was evidence of it swaying.
Wow.
Not great.
No, that's actually quite terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they got ahead of it and closed it and are going to do something about it quick, but still.
Build back better, baby.
Cool. That's super
I
cool.
love Brandon.
Yeah, let's go, Brandon.
Doing my best.
Oh, it's Brandon? I'm calling you Brendan. Oh shit, I'm sorry, dude.
Fuck.
I was going to go with Brandon.
I was just kidding.
Ah, dude, you suck at sniping. Just kidding. That was pretty sick. That was sick. You just showed me up so bad. You just got me. That was fucking sick. All right, Brendan's awesome at this game.
Brendan's good at this game.
With 3 single coil pickups and a whammy bar.
What else you guys got? What else is going on in the city? I feel like I've been completely out of the loop lately. I've just been like keeping my head down, watching Gremlins 2 over and over again to get ready for Christmas. Just the normal stuff.
You guys want to hear the Better Call Saul theme song?
Yes.
Better Call Saul?
Yeah, of course we do.
Oh, I fucked it up.
It's all right. Get back in there, champ.
I'll get back to you guys on that. I got nervous.
Sounded great to me. I've never watched an episode of the show, so
Yeah, same. I couldn't ID the song if I
sounded perfect. Actually,
It's a nice song, though.
yeah.
Gremlet is a
Oh no, her name is the Hot Gremlin. That's what her name is. I'm in a D&D group with Sam Bonacci, Dave Williams, and Maddie T. And we played a campaign where Maddie's character was based on the Hot Gremlin. And so now every time a picture of her or like an action figure or something pops up, I just send it or buy it for Maddie.
Hell yeah.
NECA action figure company just came out with a life-size doll of her. And I'm like, do I spend $300 to buy a Gremlin sex doll for Maddie T?
He'd use it.
I think it might be his wedding gift. Honestly, I think
Incredible. Yes.
Yeah, I think his fiance Sammy would be into it. So
it's
might
art.
be. Yeah, I love Gremlins too. The new batch.
Whoa,
what else? So
what's going on with Brendan now?
Oh,
What happened?
Is that your background?
The splash screen. Well, they rotate through. You know, you collect a lot of them throughout the years.
Feels trippy, dude.
It's hard to settle on just one.
Just so people know.
Could we do it so that you play Fortnite and I play Rocket League at the same time?
Yeah.
2 games at the same time.
I mean, the internet might break, but yeah.
Given this setup, yeah, you would set yourself up the way Brendan has it.
And I could play nothing because Fortnite won't download on my. I have 10 hours left on my download for Fortnite on my Switch. So
10 hours.
Dude, Switch downloads are the worst. I cannot.
I also can't. It's so bad. My internet's not great either, but still, it's like it keeps stopping.
No, but I mean, even like when they do like weekly updates, I don't bother trying to get in the day of the update. It usually takes a full 12 hours to download. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy. It's just crazy. I also can't get every time. I'm sure we can talk about this later. This doesn't need to be on air, but every time I try and pull the screen up, it's blurry in a way that makes me think that it's an anti-piracy setting that I have to fuck with. So we're gonna have to talk about that later.
Look at that. Brendan's got an umbrella.
Wow.
It's a snowbrella.
Wow.
Do we know what this means? Brendan, let your nephew run on duos?
Yeah, no, see that? No, Camden, I'm not, because I tried playing with you about 3 weeks ago and you booted me from your lobby. So you can go fuck
yourself.
Family drama.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And Iris can confirm that you are dead to me. It's, you had one opportunity and you blew it.
He says he didn't know it was you, and then he named his favorite band. Here we go. Bill, can we get a little accompaniment?
Why ain't it working then?
You better honor this anthem, Brendan. Don't you move.
Dang. Worst time for my guitar to stop working.
Brendan's chilling. Just when you really think about it, like nothing political, nothing, whatever. It's just not a good song.
Oh, it's an awful song.
It's a bad song.
It's a dirge.
Yeah.
It's like a funeral song.
Yeah, it sucks. Finally got it to work again. May I help you? That's what I gotta learn is the Wayne's World May I help you with. Look at the tabs right now.
I just ask we remain standing for a moment of silence and keep in our prayers the Rushford family. David Rushford, who served the city, his wife passed away, Anne Marie, suddenly yesterday.
George Seption, that's a really good idea. We might have trouble with the legality, the Twitch legality of that, but something to look into for sure.
There's something going on with the captions. I'm gonna just bring this back up.
Du hast, man.
Here.
Mayor Petty. Here. First item is approval of the minutes of November 21st. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Calorio?
Yes.
Councilor Agia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Murray Carlson? Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. Public participation. A person may speak for no more than 2 minutes on any item appearing on the agenda.
Oh wow.
13A.
I feel like I'm at an Irish wake.
Issue of the speed limit.
Or is that Lord of the Rings? Were you playing Lord of the Rings?
I don't think that people
It's a little hobbit.
think that the speed limit is going to be at 25 miles an hour
Beautiful.
all over the city.
So
If you think
beautiful.
we have gridlock now, really, what do you think is going to happen if you actually institute a speed limit of 25 miles an hour?
Great question.
I think
Nothing.
people get it. You want to have a speed limit of
Oh, I
no
meant
more than 20
Chambers'
miles an hour
question.
in the
Fred
school
Nathan has
hours
never had a
when
good question in his
they're-
life.
when the school kids are coming out. I get it. I think everyone in this room, and if they don't get it right now, the issue of the accessory dwelling units. You know,
Oh,
there
wow.
are issues that have intended consequences.
Hey,
and
Santa
there
Claus
are
is there
issues
tonight.
that have unintended consequences. I know
I
that
hope it's
people
Richard
behind
Attenborough
me
Santa.
think it's a good intention, but
Oh,
if
shit.
you own a house and you want to put an in-law apartment, well, let me see now. You're going to have to get a permit to do all the building. And guess what?
What, Fred?
You put
What?
that
What, dude? Tell me.
extra unit in your house, your taxes have just gone up.
Whoa.
And they haven't gone up like a $2 or $3 or $4 or $5.
As is the
No,
case with
$6.
with
What
tax
the
rate.
tax rate is on an in-law apartment, but
So the city
chances are that
council
in-law apartment could
voted
be
to
valued at
ostensibly
more than
lower
$100,000. I'm not a
residential
rocket
property
scientist, Mr.
taxes.
Mayor, Council.
But I
Manager,
looked it
but I'll
up,
tell you one
and
thing,
the average went up by
if I'm gonna hire
$200.
taxes, you guys
Yeah.
do whatever you
Even
want.
though they said it, they lowered it by 2%.
Yeah,
Because that's how
the
that's the grift they always do, right? Like
valuations went up by like 40%.
Right.
Last week
So-
about how dire the housing crisis
It's like
is. I hope there's nobody here who would
fuzzy
disagree
math
with
there
us.
is
We need a
crazy.
lot more
It
housing
is
in
really
Worcester.
cool the way it works
The
too,
yellow
because
ordinance
so
is
few
great.
people understand how the
Planning
process
board
works.
strongly
Like everyone
endorses
celebrates the
recommending
counselors that vote for the lowest
to pass
residential
the
tax
housing
rate,
they
and then
recommend
blame
as is.
the other ones for their taxes
For some
going
very
up,
important
even though
context, and I
taxes
hope
going up
everyone
is just a
remembers this,
product
we
of
talk about this
capitalism,
when we
not
hear
has
Right.
nothing to do with the city.
It's almost
Now,
like
that
city
project
council is set up to
identified
take the
city needs
fall.
to build housing for an additional 60,000 people over the next 10 years. But we're already in crisis. We already have a shortage before any of that has even been built. People aren't able to find housing, and when they are, many people are terribly rent burdened. The Pioneer Institute looked at 37 communities that had approved ADUs, those communities representing more than 1 million Massachusetts residents. In the 3 years they studied, those communities permitted only 251 ADUs. The head of the planning board said he thought we would be lucky to get 100 ADUs built over 5 years, even with a very permissive ordinance. So this is a small change in the face of a big crisis, but it's symbolic. Passing this ordinance as is would indicate that this council cares about the housing crisis and doing the right thing to ameliorate it. If you add any additional restrictions, especially occupancy, familial, parking, or special permit restrictions, we'll get few, if any, ADUs built. And it will be clear we're not serious about this crisis.
We're not, Oliver.
We're
Applying
not.
special permits
That's-
for single-family areas will definitely kill
That's
ADUs.
our starting
because it
point here is that
increases
we're not
safety,
serious
the
about it.
risk
Unless
for
you're a
unknowns we
renter,
have to take
but
in the
renters
planning
don't vote,
stage,
so like who cares, right?
specifically
Your
in the
mistake,
areas
Oliver, was
most likely
moving
to get
past that
space for an
construct.
ADU. The ordinance already mandates that ADUs not remove required parking, but adding additional parking will also kill ADUs because parking is extremely space inefficient and expensive. And we shouldn't be prioritizing parking for vehicles over housing for people.
Can you wrap up your comments?
Yep. Familiar restrictions are unnecessary, invasive, discriminatory, and legally questionable, will almost certainly generate a disparate impact on minority communities. And then some want occupancy requirements because they fear too many people buying single-family homes as investments.
Okay,
I just don't believe that's the case.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
please pass it as is. Thank you.
I almost got into a Twitter argument with somebody about ADUs, Mark
Angela
Henderson,
has
and then I
it,
was like,
Worcester.
what am I
It's
doing?
absolutely necessary and it's imperative.
Yeah, what were you
Not
thinking?
only is the population going
I
up,
stopped after one
there are
clap
more
back,
and
and I
more
was like,
single
why am I
people
clapping back?
coming into the city.
Oliver
already
just
in
made
city.
the classic Worcester blunder, though, of pretending as though
They're on waiting lists.
people do
with
matter more than
towers.
cars.
Yeah,
all
that's
over the
just not true.
People wouldn't ask
Just blatantly
for
false.
zoning, obviously. if it
There's a
wasn't
pecking order.
necessary.
Right. In fact, if you're not driving a car, you're less of a person.
It doesn't make sense for the city not to do it when they know there's a need. The gentleman before me gave you the numbers of the future.
My
These are the
friend
numbers
told me
now.
a very hilarious story
And
about how
The single
he
people that
crashed
need
into the
these
police station's parking lot
apartments, or
fence
whatever you want to call them,
at like 6 a.m. coming
you
back from
are not
Boston,
able
drunk after a Halloween party, and he was dressed like Fred
to
Durst.
land-
And they liked that he was dressed like Fred Durst so
in-law
much that they just
apartments or
let him
whatever you
go.
want to call
Hmm.
them. They're not necessarily
This was this year.
in-law
This was
apartments.
like a couple weeks ago.
We can't give them to them. We're
They're like, don't worry
citizens
about it. People crash into the fence all the time.
owing to the
Hey man, it's all about the he said she said
When
bullshit. It's
we're
fine.
living in housing,
Yeah,
we can
I get it, dude. You wanted to break stuff.
Yeah.
their homes. And the amount of money, the taxes or permits or whatever, that it would cost them,
And he like looks like Fred Durst too.
beneficial
So
to them. It would be beneficial to everybody, including
I used
the
to
city.
see
We just had a safety,
Fred Durst when I worked at a movie theater.
prior to this
Uh,
city council.
He used to come in all the
And
time,
they're looking for
and
an
no one else was
emergency
psyched but me. And I think he appreciated that.
In the summer, and there's not enough.
Bill, text Marco and see if he wants to hop on the stream while he's playing
We
Wordle
could
back there.
alleviate some of these problems. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deborah Packard. I'm here to speak about accessory dwelling 13B. I'm the Director of Preservation Concern Worcester resident. This year we've had barns and carriage houses on our most endangered structures list, and we've been concerned about them because they haven't been able to be used for housing, and they're being lost. And I think that when productively occupied, they would alleviate some of the housing issues that we have in the city. I suggest that preferably they should be relatives or connected to an owner-occupied property. But
Some turn
my
the page.
concern is
Let me look up the turn the page
effect
tab.
of changing
Oh,
single-family
no.
homes has on
I
neighborhoods.
have to do the may I help you riff first.
And a real fear that investors will come into the city start buying homes in residential neighborhoods, and would not really
Wayne
care
Griffin
about the
also once
quality of
claimed
life
when he was a
for
city
people
councilor that he
living
walked
there
into an
if
orgy in
there's
progress in
parking
the
issues.
city hall bathroom.
So I suggest,
Whoa.
He does just kind of make
as
shit up.
opposed to the man who spoke before me, that
No
you
way.
move
That
No, I
had to
believe
happen.
it.
slowly on this.
Yeah, I believe him.
That you allow a residential use for barns and carriage houses first, maybe owner occupied or to relatives, see how that goes, and then move on to consider single family dwellings.
Why are these
Who
people
gets to
so afraid?
decide
We all
who
want
is
to see
related?
people have housing, but we also want to protect the integrity of our
Because the
neighborhoods.
strangers are a different color, Brendan. And that's freaky.
What's your name, city residence, and item number?
Ida Filiberti, I'm a Worcester resident. I came today to speak, to ask you not to pass the ADU rules as they stand. But first, I'd like to speak to 13A, the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. I think it would be fantastic if all of the traffic slowed down driving through Worcester. But what we have already, and I'm not even sure what the speed limits are in various areas, but we don't have any enforcement, or we have very little enforcement. Every night, Park Avenue.
No,
is
Kate Toomey's going to hire more cops.
stops at Salisbury Street after 9 o'clock. Nobody's enforcing the rules that we have. I'm wondering if
Pop quiz,
enforcement
hotshot.
of existing rules would slow things down in a way that benefited everybody. 13B, I really think this would be terrible for some neighborhoods, perhaps not for all. There are a lot of very large houses in the neighborhood that I live in, and those, from what I understand,
Wow,
houses that
brag.
people could rent out those rooms. It's not a question of building an ADU or adding additional space. The problem with most of the city houses that I see is that there is no parking. The gentleman who spoke earlier said,
What is she talking about?
you know, that's not an issue. It is an issue. It's
Most
a
houses
very
have
important
driveways.
issue because it changes the whole fabric and the way that people can move around their neighborhood. If there are more people
No, it
and
doesn't.
more cars than what there is space for.
Really?
I understand there's a housing shortage. I think.
How are we
the
feeling about this
situation
layout? Is
very
it obnoxious?
difficult, But
No, I
I don't
like
think that this is the way to solve it. Thank you.
Thank you.
This Brendan starts being shitty.
Your name, city
Yeah, I mean,
residence?
just don't go out of your way on my behalf, you know?
Hello, my name's Jacob Seidel. I'm a resident.
Just
of
curious
Worcester,
what we can get
and I'm
away
here to
with
speak in
before it
favor
becomes
of agenda
madness
item
on the eyeballs.
13B.
There is supposedly adult
Following
business
ADU
taking
issue
place
for
right now.
some time now, along with other residents as part of our
Ooh.
local
That's like I carried away with that.
Many wonderful, talented people who care deeply about Worcester have given input into this amendment, and the result is unequivocally good for the city. We are in a housing crisis brought about in part by the legacy zoning restrictions that we're living with, which have locked so much of our land into single-family housing, which benefits some at the expense of others, and denies landowners the right to access the true value of their property and develop the city in ways that we can all benefit from. Because when you can't build anything but a single-family home, all other potential value and other uses is locked away. Allowing accessory dwelling units will provide a tiny bit of relief for this problem and move our city down a better path for the future. There will be no sudden massive changes.
Do you guys want to conduct an experiment and switch our category to Fortnite on Twitch and see who joins our chat?
Absolutely. I want to do that. I love it when random people come into the chat. Remember that guy from Baltimore? I wish he'd
Yeah,
done
I
that.
love that guy.
That time, yeah, is that the same guy that called and dropped F-bombs on him?
Severe deterrent effect on construction.
I don't know.
There are a lot of inherent barriers to building ADUs.
No, that guy didn't do that. He should have. That would have been cool.
Moreover,
There was definitely
this is
one
of
guy
the
that called
first
in and
recommendations
did
coming
like
out of the Now Next project, a great
I don't
plan
know,
which
some
can
kind of
guide
prank
the city
call.
towards opportunities to thrive, and which I wholeheartedly support. I believe it will send a very important message within the city and beyond if we take seriously this first suggestion from this plan, which we have spent a lot of time and money on, and implement it with enthusiasm. Please vote yes on accessory dwelling units for the planning board's recommendations.
I'm just going to make every public comment into War
Reduce
Pigs.
statutory speed limits, some design and enforcement changes. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Good evening.
Oh,
My
this is a
name
perfect
Gordon
one to do it.
Duncan. I live in Worcester. I am the president of the Greater Hammond Heights Neighborhood Association, and I'm speaking tonight on behalf of our board of directors and our 240 members. We generally agree with the concept of ADUs, but what is on the table tonight has us concerned. A single-family home is the largest single investment many of us will ever make. It is a goal and a great source of pride. By not requiring owner occupation of a home, installing an ADU, the door is wide open for cash-rich investors from Boston to swoop in
So we should get rid
and
of
children and grandchildren.
rental properties, is what this
This
guy's
is not a
saying.
statement I'm
Yes.
making. Peter Dunn's letter of September 12th said, the vast majority of communities require that either the single-family home or the ADU be owner-occupied. He goes further. Occupancy restrictions could also help prevent investor speculation
Man,
and
Santa
competition
fucking sucks.
with first-time home buyers for the acquisition of the limited supply of single-family
What
homes.
first-time home buyers? There's like
Last week,
10
the
houses for
Boston
sale in
Globe
Worcester.
published an article
What are you talking about?
talked about investors snagging 1 in 5 homes for sale in Greater Boston, worsening the housing crisis.
Middle
In
class
some
disappearing,
places,
Liz. You'll be renting
investors
forever.
snagged 40% of the new homes. And it's understood they have a lot of money and they're running out of places to invest it locally. The proposal on the table tonight does not address the issue of the number of people that occupy an ADU and parking. The 2-bedroom, 900 square foot home could accommodate 4 college students or a family
It
of
looks
4 or
like somebody
5.
took over the
Many of our
Donut
streets
Cafe
are
too, but
already
I don't know
congested,
anything more than you,
and
LOL
some
Paul.
require permit
Oh,
parking.
really? Somebody did?
How will the possibility of
There's
4
a
cars
dumpster
per
out front. They're
dwelling
doing demo
be
on
dealt
it.
with?
I want it to be
I
anything
agree with
because it's a
Councilor
great little
Russell's
space.
recommendation to allow ADUs
I wanted to,
My
yeah, I was
special
hoping that it would become
and requested
another
requirement
breakfast
for
counter
owner
or something.
occupation be inserted.
It's
We also
possible. I
recommend
mean,
the
it's
city
kind of
council
set
send
up
the
for that.
proposal back to committee for
It'd be
further
great to
evaluation
have like
and
a
discussion.
breakfast
The
sandwich place.
proposal as it is currently written would change
That would
the
be
fabric
extremely
of the city
convenient for me.
and could have an enormous negative
Yeah.
effect on future property values. It should be subject to a referendum for the voters to decide at the next election and not fall solely into the hands and responsibility of this 11-member council. Thank you.
I don't
Shut up,
see the
nerds.
sense. I think that the Joe Petty said is going to vote to neuter
And
this.
I had written a letter earlier today
Probably.
to city council members. It's on my phone. I didn't print it out, so I don't have my glasses. So I'm just going to recap a couple of points on it.
I don't have my
But
glasses.
I really want to
Do it live.
What Gordon just talked about and the impact that this would have on the city and residents down the road. I grew up in Somerville in the 50s and 1960s when it was predominantly a multi-family, one owner, 99% of the housing stock.
I grew up in
And
Somerville when it was predominantly mafia.
somebody owned one of the apartments, relatives and friends lived in the other apartments. And over time, a little bit different, but it's very
Whitey
similar to-
Bulger did nothing wrong.
Those multi-family units that were owned by one person.
He helped my uncle.
Sold to investors. Those investors
He got my uncle a job at the transfer station.
Multi-unit condominiums, and some of them went from a blue-collar family neighborhood that I grew up in to now an affluent neighborhood where nobody who I grew up with could afford to live in Somerville when it's $3,000 or more for a
And now I think we should do that to Worcester.
condominium that I grew up in. And I think that's what the future of Worcester would have if there are not some requirements around this, like owner occupied. One of the
That's
things
so
that makes
crazy
this
because it's the
city
complete
vibrant
opposite.
is its diversity of people,
Right.
and
Yeah,
neighborhoods,
you're just
and the welcoming
just flipping
atmosphere
it
we
and
have,
lying.
whether you're a new immigrant,
Exactly. Yeah.
whether
It's
you
like
need assistance,
creating more housing
working
stock will
class,
keep the
middle
city
class,
more
or an
affordable for
affluent
people,
person.
making it
We welcome
extra
and we
exclusive.
support all, and I
Right.
They
think
just
we
they don't
need to
care if
take
they're
a look
wrong,
at this
though. You know what I
and
mean?
Put some
No,
restrictions
they're
around
just about
like
wielding
owner
power,
occupied,
wielding their
around-
influence, and
Thank you.
Yeah. Seeing as how the only people that vote are single family homeowners,
Right.
you know, they don't have any reason not to.
What's your name, state your residence?
Thank you. You know, I really believe in something when I come out here. My name is Joyce Mandel.
I
live
like
in
Joyce a lot.
Worcester, and I'm here to support the ADU ordinance as proposed by the planning board and also the ED committee as it is written. And that means ADUs by right in all residential neighborhoods. As someone mentioned before, this was the first part of the Worcester Now Next plan. So, and I won't go into how our population has grown between 2010.
Yeah,
and
Mo Bergman
2020
was definitely
by
rallying his
20,000
people.
Yeah.
That, and our housing stock hasn't grown and so people are, the result is there's an increase in housing prices, a lack of housing stock for potential owners and renters. We want to make sure we have enough housing for
yeah,
people.
people that
Housing
own
that is affordable
rental
and safe.
properties and jack up the
Allowing
rents
ADUs
are
by
like,
right, not
don't
by special permit
ADUs would
citywide
destroy the
is a
city.
small way to make it
Landlords
possible
would destroy the city.
Worcester to boost its housing stock and create smaller homes that are more affordable for seniors who want to downsize or children who want to move.
What?
back
Do you
to
want
a
the city to look like the part of the city we all try to forget about?
Zoning does not mean housing production. There's simply not going to be a big run on building these tiny homes once this is passed. We're talking about gentle density over time. Zoning for ADUs by right make these smaller homes far more affordable by cutting out the red tape that is required for special permitting. And one thing I want to make clear, I don't know how much time I have left, but I think it's important to mention that we must not restrict these.
Remember that guy
I want to say
last
who
week
is
who brought the big
family? Will we
gentrification
require
screenshot?
DNA tests?
All of
For many
Wikipedia.
of us, our friends are more family than
So
biological
that
relatives.
guy got like arrested in 2017 for raiding and assaulting
Children moving
a
back
Muslim
here for
airport.
seniors wanting
Yeah.
to age
Oh,
with
cool.
family, but we want to make
Yeah.
sure
That was a
the
wild
person or
story when
family
that
who buys
happened.
a house and can make the economics work has the option renting out
Wrap up your
a
comments.
small
Which is
Means the
hilarious,
owner-
given-
means the owner occupies it. Hope
This
that
is a
helped.
low-hanging fruit. So strong support, there's strong support now for legalizing
You're doing the Lord's work,
ADUs
Brian.
statewide. It's a part of the housing.
You know, that's
I
why
can't
we
wait-
do the show, is to try and help.
Right.
Let's take the
I
first
can't wait for
step
Mo Bergman to
pass our own policy here in
you know,
Worcester.
talk
This is
about
a really good,
legislation
well-thought-out
requiring that we suss out bloodlines and who's related to who and what they're.
Yeah,
it's gonna.
that's the part of it, Riley. That like, in theory, sure, it's not a bad idea, but when you have to create a commission to decide who is related to who, that's one part of it. And then if we're saying owner occupied, then
just want to highlight 3 points.
yeah,
in the memo.
let's get rid of all non-owner occupied rental properties in the entire
20
city.
miles an hour, where 9 of 10 pedestrians
I mean, rental occupied, owner occupied is like
Miles per hour, we're only
just a way of making sure that none of these things ever get built.
Second is the negligible impact on traffic
Yes.
flow this reduction will have, and third is the recent.
And the reality is they're not going to get built anyways. I mean, it's going to cost a fortune to retrofit homes the way these idiots are describing. Like it's
Right. It's
that
only going to be
kind of-
people that are in desperate need of them that don't really have a choice. And how many of them, like, who's going to build an ADU that doesn't live, like, isn't,
And I
you
urge
know,
the council to pass the ordinance.
isn't
My dad
owner
built-
occupied?
I believe strongly
Right.
in the benefit of the.
My dad built an ADU for my grandma and just didn't even tell the town.
Home. I spend time in a community
Like,
where ADUs
and
enable
that was
people
like
with very
15 years
unique
ago,
needs
and
who are not related.
never
I'm a
became a
caregiver
problem.
for
It's not in
family
Worcester, but it's
Yeah,
just
we have
like
a special guest.
I support the provisions for by right in all zoning districts, no familial relationship, and no increased.
We have a special guest.
I understand the owner occupancy requirement would be unenforceable.
Bring in the
Okay.
guest.
bring in the guest.
Many communities commit to equity but fail to take implementation actions to achieve.
Hi guys.
By zoning differences.
What's up?
Hello.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hey,
Special
Hey,
permit
Mike.
process injects-
I'm doing okay. I'm out here outside. I only have a brief amount of time. Is there anything exciting going on at this very moment in the meeting?
Are you ice skating?
Just public comment.
Yeah, I should pretend like I'm ice skating here. Hold on.
It looks like you are.
Go ahead. What was that you were saying?
with mobility
We're just having public comment right now about accessory
Oh.
dwelling units to kill the city.
This is, by the way, for everybody that doesn't know, Mike Benedict. Welcome to the show. It's not Hoagie Carmichael.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
Thanks for coming on, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike,
I'm
what are your
sort of-
strong
I'm-
opinions about ADUs?
Most livable cities.
What's that?
What are your strong opinions about ADUs or people who aren't related living together in the first place? Do you have strong opinions on cohabitation?
I mean, I feel like this is fine. People should have more freedom to do what they want with their property. You know, people should have more freedom to build a little housing if that's what they're into. I don't know. That seems fine to me.
Yeah.
AMC residents.
And then Brendan can build, his dream dildo house. So
yeah,
Worcester.
that's what we're trying to work towards. That's all we're trying to work towards. Wherever
can
gets
build
us
it in,
there, I'm for.
Lego Fortnite now. Maybe I'll get on that.
The planning board's recommendations. Some of the reasons are as a homeowner myself.
It's wild when you look at some of the cities that are already doing this and like way down the road on it, like New York City, LA. I mean, they're paying residents just to do anything because it's so expensive to build to code on top of a pre-existing structure. I think New York is doing $250,000 investments at a lottery-based system. LA is doing they're giving away it's still over there. It tends to be like conversions of single-family garages or single garages that are not detached. It's just wild that these folks are panicking about something that just conceivably can't happen.
Future. I also just want to speak.
Brendan Melican, let me ask you a question, if I may.
You may.
So if this ADU thing is kind of a little bit yesterday's news, a little bit behind the curve, what is the next once the city council wisely passes this ADU ordinance tonight, what is the next frontier in this issue of trying to get a little more housing in the city?
Hermit fields and yurts.
There's no way that's going to happen. I mean, I feel like I see cities and states and whatever sort of doing things sporadically, but I don't know. I certainly don't have a sense of what's the next step. What's the next low hanging fruit?
I find it impossible to believe that Worcester's future is not the shipping containers from Ready Player Now without the cool metaverse to disappear into.
That you see across the country is actually modified.
I'd live in a shipping container.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
It's actually providing more support for their family, but also
I think that if somebody like Minneapolis and just getting rid of single family zoning, the city would have a collective meltdown that would just cancel local government. Local government would just stop being a thing. If that ever happened.
Are people coming out against this speed limit thing like they are against this ADU thing?
They are, but not as much.
I'm a little surprised at that. It's definitely not my sense of how Worcester is.
You say your name, city of residence, on the item you're calling about.
I feel like the speed limit thing
complain
about
about
Main Street.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. It's gotten less attention for sure. Most of the people that like the Mill Street thing, the people that are complaining about that are acting like they live on Mill Street. They don't even fucking live in Worcester. Like, it's a. I think it's just a different level of awareness or caring on the issue so far. We'll see once it goes. If it goes through and goes into place, then you'll see people start freaking out about it. I think
for people recovering.
Yeah.
Right.
A few years ago.
I'm gonna wait till it quiets down and then start freaking out about it.
Anywhere between 40 people living.
Set a reminder in your calendar for like 2026.
Like 20 years from now.
Start bitching about speed limit.
Every single house eventually will be turned into.
I tell you, calling it on my
25
phone is
miles an
the
hour.
wrong way to do this because I cannot follow this Fortnite game. You keep making it super tiny.
Just completely changed the way.
You're not
I
missing
can't
much.
follow it either, but it's all Greek to me. I don't know what he's doing over there. It's just in a living room.
I'm really just murdering children who should have gone to bed a long time ago.
Requirement here. That's the only way to keep this thing from.
Oh, I had.
Control. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker.
did anybody notice that Santa Claus tried to get back up to speak again, and Petty had to shut him down?
No, I did not notice that.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Santa Claus is so entitled.
Thank you. My name is Alan Gordon. I
He's-
live in
yeah.
South Flag Street here in Worcester. I'm a lifelong resident.
Is that on the call, the siren, or is that
urban planner?
I'm sitting here along. I'm sitting here along Main Street.
That's Hoagie Carmichael?
It's Hoagie.
Carmichael.
Yeah, I can mute that if it's helpful.
Nah,
I mean, it's news. There's a
already
there's an
chaotic.
ambulance driving down Main Street.
Permit requirement in single family.
Is Kate Toomey out there with them? That's why she's not in council chambers.
The special permit
Yeah,
requirement
she's doing
is unreasonable and
yeah.
creates growth management.
She's
and
showing up to
fairness
help.
for all parties involved.
She's driving the paddy wagon tonight.
There's really no
Mike,
other way.
what do you
Yeah.
make of that rumor that Kate Toomey has been reprimanded in the past for showing up to crime scenes late at night, trying to help the cops? And
Who has she been reprimanded by?
College town.
I don't know. I guess probably the city administration.
I
This is years
bet
ago.
I bet Joe Early.
This type of use in a single family neighborhood.
Huh.
Yeah,
What is she doing to help the cops at a crime scene?
Not
Well,
following our responsibility.
This is amazing. I hadn't heard this rumor. I really hope this is true. I feel like there's a
Me
lot of
too.
people into true crime. Do they all go to crime scenes to like help look at blood spatter evidence or whatever?
I think that she just thinks that's her job as chairwoman of public safety, is that she's deputized to go do police business.
I mean, I would call that police oversight. Some people would call that interfering in police business. I would call that police oversight. I would call that
Yeah.
her job.
Make sure they're working, you know? Guys on the scene.
You know, I saw this quote today for the first time that I thought was kind of awesome. This is from the writer Seneca. The Latin is too tiny on this phone for me to read. The English translation is, "The first skill a ruler learns is to endure hatred." I'm sure Kate
Okay.
Toomey can speak to that.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Kate Toomey
She
endures
has,
it.
she has
poorly.
that tattooed on her knuckles.
Endure it.
Hate me
That's
with
awesome.
4 E's or 3 E's.
That's so cool. Mike, apparently Kate Toomey has watched.
It's only 7 words in Latin, so she could definitely do 1 word in knuckle and get it.
There you go.
You know what they say? Obedience to Kate Toomey is liberty. That's actually written on top of the courthouse downtown.
I have a tattoo with that. I have a T-shirt with that on it.
Obedience to Kate Toomey is liberty.
Yeah.
You gotta
A
get that on the
picture of her.
website. dude.
It's just a picture of her fists on your shirt.
Bought it at a gun show. The
Guys,
Wait,
sadly, my little time window is closing, but it's a great honor to finally be on this program.
Yeah, happy to have
keep
you
up
on.
keep up the good work.
Hoagie
Keep
Carmichael.
fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
I will talk to you all later.
Take care, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Just
Hoagie
for clarity,
Carmichael.
too, the way it was explained to me was that Kate was showing up at like bar fights and whatnot, or like getting in between them and announcing herself as the chair, the head of public safety. Which one could, if you were like, if you knew nothing, you could interpret as, oh, this is a person of authority.
Right.
But like,
right.
She's just the head of the public safety, the chair of the public safety committee, which met for the first time tonight after a 3-year hiatus.
It's so sick that she
That rules.
legitimately thinks that makes her the cops.
Yeah.
She's
I'm the
like,
head of
she's
public
watching
safety.
Law and Order.
Please, my family members, stop fighting at this bar.
I think a lot of the marketing would be directed towards college students. I'm fearful that, wasn't that long ago, a few years ago, that we had a neighborhood up by Holy Cross that had some serious problems related to students who were living in.
They're still talking about this, huh?
Apartments up in
Yeah.
that area. So I would.
They're gonna vote this down.
Requiring own occupation to be placed back.
I think it might get held by a vote of 4 votes.
Mr. Mayor, that concludes public participation online.
Because this vote's going to break up pretty much the way every vote breaks up. But I have to imagine George Russell's a no.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Did we?
Councilor Gloria?
Yes.
Councilor Gia?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Mayor Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes. The motion is to adopt.
Hey, we got another special guest here now. Let's bring him in. Rob Bellata's here.
Opposed, motion to
Hey,
close the
man.
hearing. Adopt on the roll call.
Hey, guys.
What's up, Rob?
How are you?
Not much am I? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're here. Yeah,
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
we couldn't hear your call. Assuming you called in. Bill was shredding too much. He was playing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, he's playing a lot of heavy metal music.
Love it.
So yeah,
I'm shredding over here.
Councilor Bergman?
What's up, Rob? How you
So-
doing?
How are you? Yeah,
I'm good, guys. I'm good. I'm doing all right. How are you guys? Back.
Yeah.
Good to be back on.
you know we're hanging in there.
Doing okay.
Rose?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got major improvements to the stream since you last joined us. Brendan's not playing Fortnite. We're a Fortnite program now.
We're mostly a Fortnite stream now.
In the other room, I have a hot tub. I'm going to get in that for the second half of the stream.
Councilor Bergman, go.
Mr. Chairman, I know
Are you talking Fortnite and a hot tub? That's good shit.
Is this the order? Is this order talking about Wildwood Ave? They said.
I'm wondering if you'd consider.
That's the street I grew up on.
Because there is additional information I expect.
And
Yeah, what
it's-
is that? Hold on, I have to look at the agenda again. I don't remember.
It's
what
one
that's
of the
about.
worst streets in Worcester, I would say.
Hold it for a week and perhaps.
Just partially because of the people that have lived on it in the past.
Right.
Yeah. So Rob, how's things?
Things are good. Not bad. I mean, it was definitely just took a couple of weeks just to not think about Worcester.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about how the election was stolen from you and that we're planning on doing a rally to stop the steal, or do we want to wait on that?
No, we could do that. I heard some new people at school committee are good at planning field trips, so we could use what their skills to use.
Yeah, right. We have to consult. We'll consult Kathy Roy. Hey, how do we do this? We really want to do this in Worcester.
Can you get a bus together?
Call up Durham. Get them on the line.
Okay, we are on 13.
Yeah. So
No, it was I'm really happy about the work we did and proud of the numbers or whatever. It definitely was like disappointing to see how the elections went in general, but I think people are definitely more energized to try to just organize and reach out to voters and reach out to more people in the community. We got to get people involved. Because I think it's just unfortunate, it's such a small voter turnout that, unfortunately doesn't really represent, the entirety of the city. So
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the biggest takeaway from this cycle is just that it's not, the results aren't necessarily representative of the real feelings in the city, but unfortunately it is what it is. And we have to figure out a way to get people out next time. So we'll just we'll get them next time.
I was proud of the work. So
yeah, you should be. You should be absolutely very proud of your campaign. That was an incredible campaign.
I mean, if we look at the long arc here, between Joanna's campaign last time, your campaign this time, and then looking to next year, Candy is so vulnerable because you came within what was it, like not to think about it too hard, but it was like 100 votes. It was like 100
It was 100
votes.
100,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Below under 200, yeah.
Yeah, that's so close. Fuck. So it's like next time, I think it's there. I think she should really be nervous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely planning to run again. I think like it was just interesting to hear from all the neighborhoods and learn, about what's going on. And it's definitely kind of really made me more excited to run and get involved and stay involved with different initiatives in the city, whether it's like disability advocacy or the Affordable Housing Coalition or the Human Rights Commission. So definitely going to stay involved. And I think it was. It was it was a lot of work, but a fun experience, and I think it's definitely energized me more.
Yeah.
So even though we lost,
well, I think I think there's going to be a lot of increased attention from when I streak across the inauguration stage on the 2nd, with probably at least your name, maybe a picture of you painted on my chest. So that's cool with you. Then that's just the plan.
I think that would be great, man.
All right, cool. Cool. Signed off.
So, Rob, you're on the Human Rights Commission right now, right?
Yes.
So, what's your take on the whole thing about the police records? What are you? How are you processing that?
I mean, I think like we've the commission voted to try to meet the city manager's asks, but also continue the work that we're trying to do with police transparency. And I think we're going to wait and see what the information that we're able to get. But I think we were able to strike a balance, at least in my opinion. And I feel that, but to ask for us to change gears like that, I think is not a good idea. And I think like all these things we're working on, all these. I think the Human Rights Commission is going to work on all these things simultaneously. So it's not like everything's going down the same path. I feel. Anyway.
To my mind, it's an overreach to try to direct what you guys do.
I think
by saying no, you cannot look into this matter. Because I want you to look into these other things. I think that's a pretty thin argument.
I think we tried to do, and everyone, I think we tried to do, do both, but I know it was definitely just kind of, I think not challenging, but like really had to take a look at everything, but definitely, I don't think a lot of people on the commission we'll have to wait and see how the next meeting in January goes. But I mean, I'm really concerned about, one.
Initial intent was not
we can talk about the hate crimes that the WP is looking into.
A number of traffic fatalities.
Yeah, that seems like very good and germane sort of stuff for the Human Rights Commission to look at. Change of subject. What do you think is on Kay Toomey's camera? Is it Vaseline? Is it olive oil?
And I think
just thumb smudges.
She running in 480.
That I know people.
There's something on there.
Molly.
But,
and I wish you would wipe it up.
If traffic's
cling
moving
film.
at a certain pace, they'll still be moving at a certain
Probably
pace.
fingerprint. You know what? She should get out her kit and find the source of that.
It's just underneath. It's mid-December and she is very red. She's not in Worcester right now, is she?
I think that certainly there
are. She might be in Florida.
Things that we need to take a look at.
She might be in Florida.
In terms of,
she strikes me as a Florida person.
Specifics and have a discussion and traffic and parking about this.
Everything about this aesthetic is really working. The red top accentuating the redness of everything, and then the weird backlighting that's blurry. And I think there might be just a piece of Scotch tape across the webcam.
Have an extra 10 minutes to be able to get from one end of the city to another.
is it worth taking, a person's life? And
Yeah, but like I was saying, I definitely want to continue
don't
to
really have
work
that. We
to
all
look into the
now,
human rights,
the other thing
hate
that I've heard
crimes,
too, I will
and
say
make sure.
that people say, oh, this is just,
Excuse me, that we're looking at those things because I mean, like I don't know, Bill, if you
not
saw
necessarily the case.
on Hamilton Street,
This is more of an education.
that
I don't think
barber
we saw.
shop, someone had, there was a mural of someone
I will
on.
tell you myself, I was driving down Hamilton Street the other day, and I looked down at my odometer and
I think we're losing you again, Rob.
Like that.
It's jarring to hear both
Unfortunately, the
Kate and
building
Rob talk
owner
about
took them
Hamilton.
a while to take it down, but
I'm
you
mindful
can
of
see
that.
it's on Google Maps.
And
Like I was looking the other day at a problem.
aren't necessarily, if you feel like, oh, I can get away with an extra 5 miles or maybe an extra 10 miles, I can get through faster. And if we
Addressing
change
these and
the mindset,
making sure that the community
and the way
knows
that
that,
they drive,
and that
save more lives. And I think that that's
the city leadership know that this is happening,
so
and that we
I
gotta
asked
keep
my
an eye on it and
colleagues
make sure that
to
because
support
hate
this.
crimes
Thank
like
you.
that. So.
Thank you, Council Hagia.
Right. Yeah. I'll have to look into the Hamilton Street thing. Didn't know about that, but I live right over there.
Staff were coming up with comprehensive policies that actually do make a difference, such as redesigning roads so they don't facilitate.
Looks like we're having a little bit of trouble with Rob's connection.
Yeah, we're
try
having
and
some
get
trouble.
him back.
You know what? I'm gonna tell. I'll text Rob right now and give him some tips.
You go tell him. All right, you gotta plug your guitar in.
You gotta get a whammy bar,
and then you start wailing.
Through the chair, I was just wondering how you feel about.
Oh, he just texted me too. He says he's having trouble with his internet.
Through the chair to the councilor.
I'm just asking if you can plug it into
Staff, we
Ethernet.
believe it's a good idea. Anytime, safety's at stake.
1 second. I gotta get this chicken bacon ranch pizza out of the oven.
Got together, we,
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Wow.
Epic Stratton, we are just talking about speed limits right now. In 3 hours, we'll talk about ADUs.
This was kind of jarring to hear the chief be in support of lowering speed limits.
January 1 till October 1st.
I'm surprised that he allowed himself to answer that question.
But doesn't it give them more opportunities to give tickets?
It does, but it's going to be super, super unpopular with their general constituency. It's the sort of question I would expect him to completely avoid.
Understood.
Right. Right.
So we want to educate first, but several of the programs have to do with
Plus,
compliance.
they don't like somebody made a good point earlier. They don't actually enforce anything. So, attention on things like this is just gonna point out the fact that they don't enforce anything. Oh, you switched to Peely.
Yeah,
he's an angry banana.
Along with my colleagues on the traffic department, how deeply impacted he was by what happened to Candace, the 5-year-old on Stafford Street. So I'm sure for your men and women doing this important work on the street, it's not easy to see the impact of crash of victims of this type of work. So I'm very encouraged to hear you support this, and I really just want
Very
to
true.
for that.
This, it will be used as a cudgel for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Send it to traffic and parking. Prior to doing so, Council Russell.
Mr. Chairman, through you to the chief. Chief, do you have any information about like how many tickets we gave out in the school zones? Because that's 20 miles an hour, right?
Chief.
Through the chair to councilor, it is. I do not have that in front of me, but I can get it. And are you planning on having more traffic enforcement as a result of a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit citywide? Or are you planning on having
20 mile an hour?
In other words, do we have enough staff?
I think he's confusing the school zone thing.
My first reaction on this is that do we have enough staff, number one? And then also on top of that, when you give somebody
The interim chief as of right now, but there's not a chance that he doesn't become the permanent one, right?
That's the way I hear it.
And if our city,
Oh yeah, the Market 32 parking lights are so sick. If anyone has ever been over on East Mountain Street at night, it's like all purple lighting.
that this is it. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with this if it had a list of streets that we were going to put at 20 miles an hour, but to have a citywide item. I just wonder, how enforceable it is. And Chief, if
Yeah.
you want to respond to that, that's
I mean, they're essentially the same guy. Well, this one's taller.
be doing different? Is it we're gonna need more staff? What are we gonna do?
Yeah, those are great questions, Counselor. Through the chair.
But they were birthed from the same pod for sure.
75 communities in the state that have a 25-mile-hour zone. It's not 20, it's 25. The 20-mile-hour zone.
Yo, what's
would be
buzzing?
A specific designation to certain areas pertaining to either school zones. You can do it.
The buzz. It's the buzz.
Playground area, etc.
I figured we'd maximize the effectiveness of the stream by adding a dog.
Yeah, we're hitting all vectors.
And this is something that 75 other communities across the state have adopted. And so we are looking to do that as well. And so the question about
Shit, the only buzz I want to watch is Best Friends with Woody. Am I right, everybody?
30-mile-an-hour zone, right?
Close, George Stetson. It's Rocket.
It's not more so
Rocket.
to ramp up.
He's a trash panda.
More so is that the person who's going 45 miles an hour is because
And he
they
loves to
feel
lick
as though
and
they
eat
have a
bunny
wiggle
scat.
room from 30 miles an hour.
Camber, you got a tip for something like that. Up.
I give it away
Never,
for free.
Never
I give it
do
away for free.
Psychologically, what it does is starts to change behaviors of individuals.
No, he's
by
up here
saying,
because they
you
want to
know
go
what, this
outside.
is 25.
We'll be right
I
back,
can't go
guys.
40 anymore because, again, I'm going 15. This is the hazard, so I'm going to reduce. So what it does, it has a cognitive kind of implication of trying to change people's behavior of saying, I got to chip the way I drive. And that's what the experts and the data has shown, not only across the state, but across the nation.
I got to take these guys out. Should I leave it here or should I leave it on Brendan?
Mr. Chairman, you
Yeah, leave it like this.
And maybe that's
Throw that grenade.
At 30 miles an hour. If I was pushing it to 40 and I got a ticket, I'd change my behavior. I wouldn't need someone to tell me otherwise. Mr. Chairman, through you to the manager, those 70 communities, are there any similar size communities? So like, obviously Boston, is like a gridlock anyway, so they could do 10 miles an hour speed limit in Boston and it's not going to make much of an impact, but any other similar communities, Springfield, Lowell, Lawrence, those kind of.
Through the
gateway
chair, the 75 communities vary in size and location. So many of them are in the greater Boston area, Boston, Cambridge, Somerville. Springfield has adopted it citywide. Birmingham has adopted it. So really spread out across the city.
Hell yeah.
Sorry, across the Commonwealth.
Mr. Chairman, I'll support it going to committee.
I do like what
I've got many reservations.
Well, I hate the idea of lowering speed limits just because I'm an asshole when it comes to driving. I do like the idea of that they will just do a blanket 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, and then, but they'll still have corridors that will be 30 or above. It'll just be the inverse of what we have now.
Put this on, but citywide.
Yeah.
Councilor Bergman?
Yeah, I mean, 25 miles an hour is slow, but like people get hit by a lot of fucking cars in this city.
Mr. Raleigh?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, totally.
Mr. Raleigh. I looked.
I think I said
I'm still going to do whatever I want because I'm, above the law. But
yeah,
mistaken.
I think I sent it to you guys the other day. There seems to be a lot of federal data showing that a lot of these pedestrian accidents that we're rightfully concerned about are also almost entirely happening at night. I hope that's something else the city does. Well, our lighting is so outdated when it comes to marrying our street lights with the brightness of modern headlights.
There are
Like we have these dim little yellow. I know they're starting to do LEDs and whatnot, but for the most part, a lot of our larger corridors are still like the more dim halogen lights and whatnot, and they just get lost with the blinding of modern super bright headlights.
Right.
The way it's been through the chair.
It's very hard to see at night in this city.
At this point,
Fellas,
there are places
look
where
at
it
this
is much
guy.
better.
I also support this going to the traffic.
Wow,
is that delivery?
This is a Katie Nowicki special right here.
Wow.
Wow.
She makes a fine pie, folks.
Is there anything she can't do?
Haven't found it yet.
I mean, pick a guy, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. Choose a good man to date.
There'll be a lot of people requesting it, and we'll have to.
That's just one of my classic zings. I don't mean anything by it.
Never needs a decision for the subcommittees to do.
That's okay. I'll just
Always
quietly
just
resent you
discuss
for the rest of my
it,
life.
at traffic and parking, whoever is going to be in that.
That's what we do in Worcester. We hold grudges for decades.
Yeah.
Specific zones and not haphazard and available to anybody.
Part of me is kind of hoping that Worcester becomes like a city that just wholesale rejects change. Like that's the thing we become known for now. That's really all we're talking about here. ADUs. What was the last thing we didn't want to change? Oh, Mill Street. We didn't want to change.
That to traffic and parking. Roll
I would love if that's just who we become. Like we regress into complete obscurity because we just refuse to change anything.
Signage, as well as
I look forward to that time.
We should bring back like old school things to reject. Like, no, we actually want British soldiers taking up residence in our homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want them to quarter. It's fun.
we repeal the Quartering Act.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that there are signs that are installed around the perimeter of the city to notify people that the statutory speed limit in Worcester is 25 miles an hour.
We can be the.
I agree.
And then, as you see,
I agree. I'd rather headlights get dimmed than streetlights go up. But
totally,
a tide we need to stem. That's a big,
I'm actually with that as well too. I've gotten into stigmatism. I can't see any of you that have cars that were bought out in the last 10 years. I just can't drive around you at night. But just in general, it's like that's not changing anytime soon. And we do have a lot of outdated overheads in the city. That's all I was getting at.
I mean, I'm like, listen, I'm not kidding about those purple lights. They're like,
I hate those.
They're a game changer.
Can shorten lives.
I love them.
Fuel consumption, Mr. Chairman.
You love hurting my eyes.
Amongst other.
Though I'm talking about, have you seen like the Market 32 parking lot?
Yeah, I was wondering. I thought it was like a Halloween thing. Like it was a bit.
No. It's like it's for light pollution.
Right now, the traffic division.
Yeah. And it works really well because it honestly is like we were outside of the parking lot. It's very like you can't see.
What is that particular department?
Like into it, and then you get in there and everything's brightly lit. It's a little, you have to get used to the purple, like obviously, but if you've ever been to Cafe Neo, then you're fine.
We have approximately 10 offices on 2 shifts.
Is Cafe Neo open at that new spot yet? Do we know?
They work. They do a lot of different functions.
I don't think so. That's a good question.
But
I don't know.
Realize we do not enforce traffic laws to create quotas. We do not do that.
Maybe I should try to hook Rocket League up.
My question, just for the record, that was.
I got a capture
a
card.
bad idea.
I explained that some places do that. So when you say 1,200,
Because we're going to be talking about the speed limit thing for
the rest of our lives.
Like I said, we do it through
kind of only appropriate that we're speeding.
Oh, they have the octane.
Yeah,
bro, do an air roll.
There's Fortnite racing now, and it's kind of like Mario Kart with Rocket League cars.
What are our current plans around?
That's so sick.
I know that when we looked at the peanut over there in Kelly Square, that was primarily designed for pedestrian safety with less consideration for traffic.
Wait, did he just say that they have a quota for tickets?
Now the
they do not.
No, he said they don't, which is a lie.
Right, they don't in air quotes.
In addition to that, again, do we have any plans in place with regards to congestion and the environmental impacts through the chair?
Mr. Manager.
Through the chair to the council. So there's a number of things that we would have to look into to address that. One is about engineering, right? Thinking about the way we design our streets, and that's the charge that the Department of Transportation and Mobility have, and thinking differently about how to design our streets to alleviate some of the congestions. In addition to that, one of the suggestions that came out of the council floor, I think it was a petition or a resident that brought it up, was the idea of collaborating and working in tandem with Apple, Google, Waze, in which we could share data to them where they can then inform their maps systems and their applications. So when people are trying to route the city, it provides different routes to alleviate some
Flock
of
of
the congestion.
assholes.
But again, a lot of the congestion
What a sick man.
that we would
I love
alleviate in
that
the city would have to be
That's the most Worcester musical project of all time. Even more Worcester than 4 Years Strong.
we'll be working towards in the near
I would
future.
say so. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
addition to that,
It really
Down
is
to the
the heart.
fact that the lead singer is a MAGA guy now. Right?
tandem with Worcester Now, Worcester Next master plan is a transportation plan.
Color me shocked.
Transportation plan will also look into consideration of congestion, traffic patterns, traffic infrastructure in the city, which will hope to alleviate or provide a plan of how to address that in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Flock of Assholes exclusively plays the type of bars where saying the word illegals is totally fine and normal.
A report on economic impacts.
No one's going to look at you funny. Anywhere Flock of Assholes is playing, no one will bat an eye if you say, you know, the problem these days is these are all these illegals.
Forward. I know that came before us some years ago.
I know that because that's where my Tom Petty cover band plays.
And while I understand the research,
Oh, you guys are great. You guys are like real rock and roll before all that hip hop stuff on radio.
Speaks to me.
Traffic calming.
I feel you on the MAGA stuff. I've been watching Mr. Show again, which was a great show. But Jay Johnson was one of the actors from that show, was there on January 6th. So every time he's in a sketch, I look at him differently now. And he was the herky jerky dancer.
Yeah, he's going to jail.
So that we can have
yeah, not great.
I can't wait for the Worcester January 6th that we're going to do. Brendan's wearing the banana suit.
Yeah.
Administration.
I mean, the buses are free too, so we really don't need that much help from Kathy to pull it off.
Right. We don't
I mean,
know
they
Venmo.
all go downtown. We have to walk a little bit over to City Hall. But
We just reroute the bus.
Thank you.
Like speed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very briefly, I will support this going to committee as well. I would like to make a motion for us to, again, consider some of the app software we have, Google Maps, Waze. That was actually my order a while back to decrease congestion and working with some of these software companies and industries to team up when there's an accident in a certain location.
That's right, Ellie Phil. We love Fortnite. Hey, did we switch this over to be a Fortnite category?
We did.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
I would like to make a motion again.
Some of this map stuff.
Snowmen down there.
Some of this map data stuff I'm hesitant towards, because when I was out in California, we were on the highway and it was keep telling us to go off just to come back on, and I figure that enough people are causing that off and on traffic, because all the traffic is coming from merging, that it's the Google themselves that are causing the traffic, which is causing the issue. And
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So I don't know. I don't think that's the solution. I don't think I'm making my point clear.
Roll call. Councilor Bergman? Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, those algorithms are. Yeah.
Yes. Councilor Carlson? Councilor Ian?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera? Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
Mayor Petty?
Yes. The motion now is on.
Ellie, are you talking about Worcester, or are you talking about where you are? If you're somewhere else.
Zoning ordinance amendment of the accessory dwelling units, recommend passage.
Because yes, the bus stops in Worcester are
Awesome.
Rugged.
Welcome to the stream, Ellie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First,
We're doing ADUs now. Buckle up.
Nice. Here we go.
Peter Dunn, the economic development team. This is a really, really great plan. I appreciate the rich conversations and advocacy and debate over the topic of ADUs from the planning boards, advocates, and folks working on our Worcester Now Next project. I'd like to thank my colleagues to my left and right.
They're about to destroy the
for their hard
city.
work. And again, this is a great plan.
Remember when Kenny Merrill Carlson was like, I can't believe they just get rid of zoning.
Solution to the housing crisis. It's just an additional resource to address the housing crisis, much like different policies we did, like inclusionary zoning, for example. Since our Economic Development Committee meeting, Mr. Chairman, I spoke to dozens and dozens of constituents in District 1 and throughout the city, and I can certainly appreciate the concerns that I heard. majority of the folks that I spoke to
I
are
think
very,
it's
very
I
much in
can't remember the
favor of
guy's
the
name.
ordinance, but their concern is
Yeah, it's certainly not 4 years strong.
requirement being taken out of the plan.
Oh yeah. No.
So,
No.
As a result of the
Yeah.
conversations that I've had, I'd like to modify this ordinance to actually include owner occupancy as originally recommended by our economic development team. Like
Yeah.
motion
Come
to
on,
reinstate
Shaun.
owner occupancy requirements for the purpose of use.
Yeah,
as
Eric, that's the guy I was
initially
thinking of.
indicated by
That's allegedly. That's just I may be. I don't want to slander
adding
anybody,
owner occupancy
but I'm pretty sure
alleviates
that's
any
something that
anxiety
happened.
around this plan, Mr. Chairman. I got the sense that residents
He sold the
want to
lucky
feel
dog and
that there's an
you know
owner in a
destroyed a
home,
piece of Worcester history.
having accountability over an ADU and addressing any concerns related to an ADU. And I also got the sense that residents prefer to knock on a door and talk to a neighbor rather than calling a number of somebody in Boston or as someone referenced Silicon Valley.
What are you talking
I
about,
think
dude?
this is
Shut up.
a reasonable compromise.
Where would I
adding
find Silicon Valley?
I'd hate
That sounds like another Twitch stream I should be
it's an
following.
incredibly valuable resource and opportunity for us, for families who are generationally, like my daughter is still living with me, generationally, it makes a lot of sense. I think it also makes a lot of sense for other stakeholders.
Shaun Rose's last act: destroy the usefulness of ADUs.
Honestly, too, that this ordinance will continually be assessed for efficacy. And if owner occupancy is a deterrent down the road, that this continue to be revisited long after I'm gone, Mr. Chairman.
How are you going to figure out if it's a deterrent? You surveying people who would otherwise build an in-law apartment? What the? So bullshit. So stupid. Fuck.
Thank you. Council King, followed by Council
Cambridge.
This Vice Chair, Economic Development, we unanimously supported.
That's a little tasty lick.
ADUs without restriction.
Break up the public comment.
Recommendations. I think it's important to remember that this will ensure, Mr. Chairman, that multi-generational families will continue to be able to live here in the city to a larger degree than is currently being realized. In addition to that, we talked about young folks coming into the workforce who need to be able to live here, folks entering and exiting schools. We want those folks to remain to live here. And this is a tool in the toolbox.
Ruth, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Mr. Chairman.
Shaun Rose has consistently been a disappointment.
Can you share what the process is for?
And this is just a fitting last little fuck you on the way out the door.
Ending an ordinance to the
Yep.
process for that.
What?
To end an ordinance. So if we do an ordinance for accessory ADUs,
You want to change it later on?
yeah. What's the process?
You don't know.
Is the solicitor to speak to that?
Shot
I
of change.
have a quick question on the process. So
No do-overs in Worcester.
Pass this ordinance as amended, and we find an issue 6, 7, 8 months from now, and we want to change it to address that issue. What's the process of that?
Right. But functionally, Shaun Rose, as a city councilor, has not been that much different than what Rick Sepra would be.
The ED committee for public hearing.
Especially when you consider how many things that Cipro would have had to recuse himself from.
Yeah.
So probably might have done less damage on some things.
Yeah.
Is a net negative at that point.
Occupancy or lack of occupancy.
Oh, Bill, nice shirt.
This requires
hot dog
us to
safari,
move
baby.
forward intentionally.
Requires us to. We got a big hot dog safari party coming up on Sunday, December 17th.
Yeah, holiday party at Ralph's, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Mama Roo and Decimation Deli are going to be there making food. So come on down. We had exclusive merch again this year for the party. a Santa
have
themed
restrictions
shirt.
or
So
don't have owner
Come down and join in.
But what would it look like?
I don't know what's going on. I have been out of the loop on plans.
Research the documents that you provide to the
That was a surprise to me last year.
Is it
So
a high rate? Is it a low rate? What is
I don't know if Tom and Ryan have got some schemes up their sleeves. I'm sure they do.
They usually
Sure.
do.
Through the chair to the counselor, when we were conducting our research, we did submit an informational communication to the council back in August, kind of summarizing the results of that research. In particular, one of the biggest studies that was done was
Oh hell yeah, system. Yeah, let's actually have this here. We get our Twitch recap. Our loudest fans, our biggest loudmouths of the year in 2023. We got a murderer's row right here.
in terms of
Look
a
at that.
comprehensive update to
Our
that
9
study.
top
We don't really have
chatters
that available. And as you can imagine,
of the year.
You guys are the real heroes.
We do. We really can't say enough how much we appreciate you guys making this happen for us. Every single episode, we're in the top 10% of politics shows on Twitch.
In fact, in several communities.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's been the trend, is to look at removing.
I mean, there's probably 11 of them, but still.
The key topics on that has been really looking at the owner occupancy requirement.
Hassan Piker, I'm coming for you.
Familial relationship to the current owner of the property for the tenants of that accessory.
Journalism ain't
we honestly would probably do it if you let it go for a minute. But now we're contrarians by nature, so
later date remove the
we
owner
have to just keep ignoring it.
Than to start without it and then try to
Ryan,
add
I
it in.
disagree.
Our recommendation from our staff was to have an owner occupancy restriction starting out.
And now I will hold a grudge against you for the rest of your life.
Shared about potential investor activity.
That's
in the
ominous.
single-family
My
market.
life.
So as we're rolling this out, I think we want to do it somewhat incrementally.
Speaking of journalism ain't dead.
Across other communities and really.
We need to talk. Let's circle back to this afterwards. Just don't forget, we got to talk about this after what Bill has to say.
Oh
no, wait. Let's go right to this. This is much more interesting.
George Seption, we need to know in what context. Don't dox yourself if you don't want to, but how that came up in a job interview and if it immediately blew the interview for you.
Is that right? This would not apply.
In local
Yeah, I'm a
historic
union
districts,
member.
they would have to go before the
Commenters
historic
Local
commission because
69.
they're, altering the exterior of property.
We bully the mayor.
A preservation, for the lack of a better term, aspect to this, to one degree or another, Mr. Chairman. One of the things that we talked about as well is enforceability.
Dude, George Seption, don't
And
leave
one of
us
the
hanging.
challenges we have.
We need to hear
I
this.
gotta know.
And we've talked about this in committee. We've talked about it previously here when it comes to the ADUs, that we have department that's not necessarily staffed to provide this level of oversight anyway. Mr. Chairman, if we could hear from the administration regarding those challenges as relates to staffing and policing of this matter. And it came up in addition to this, particularly when we were talking at one point about sort of, I call it degrees of separation. We talked about degrees of family. Then we had the sort of boo tactics around.
Hell yeah.
Family, which is not what we're doing. We're following the research here and trying to do right by folks. So if we just a little bit about to the administration about capacity.
That rules, George Seption.
Be responsible for oversight in regards to.
That's so cool. I mean, everyone here is friends. We're all friends. I think we can say
Chair
that.
to the council,
We've been doing this long enough that we're all just friends.
kind of capacity of
Yeah.
oversight in terms of the inspectional services department, and I'll turn it over to Chief Development Officer Peter.
What's the
to
ground
talk a little
truth
bit about the
project?
Enforceability when it comes to a family kind of relationship and what that looks like and the challenges.
I've
related
heard
to
that a million times. I
one of
don't
the-
know what it is.
Understandably so, we understand that, right? We've had an increase in housing stock in our city, a population that increase in our city, and we've tried to make efforts to increase some of the staffing on numbers. In
Yes, keep us
the
updated.
services department.
We believe in you. You
are
got
looking
this.
at that staffing and seeing ways that which we could potentially increase those numbers. One of the tools and the ways that we are going to try to address some of the challenges related to
Guys, the Rewind Video Store has regular hours now. I'll be there tomorrow.
In the rental registry, we're
We made a Patreon page for members,
next couple of weeks.
and if you sign up, you get one of these bad boys that I just made.
I saw them in person. They're so sick.
Rewind Video Club membership cards. Got your name on it, the date you signed up, the tier.
Aspect. So that anybody
Yeah, it's
that's
pretty cool.
creating these units,
I want all membership cards to go back to laminated pieces of cardboard.
Let me grab that link.
Yeah.
I just
Brian, as a movie fan, did you see the design? Like, did you get the design?
It's a Blockbuster video card.
Yes. I was like, the real video heads are going to recognize this.
Well, this is information I found out when I was there the other day. Is that Kara worked at Starship Video?
No
which
shit.
was
Yeah.
my video store when I was a kid, in my absolute favorite place in the entire world.
I had no idea.
That was her whole idea for doing this thing.
Yeah, it's so awesome. I love that place so much.
With ADUs without restriction, there's no difference in how we would need to refile to change that ordinance, regardless if we restarted with owner occupancy or not, Mr. Chairman.
Bill, got a question for you.
This
Hold
rental
on, I'm
registry,
just going.
the asks
Yeah.
that we're having.
Oh, Ruth, yeah. There's all of our members that signed up on Give Butter. I have to manually move over to Patreon, so
and I hope we get that. And I hope we
need to do that. I hope to get to that tomorrow. But you will definitely get a membership card. You'll be on the first ream of the ones that I print out.
But we need to do
Ooh, yeah.
We need to do the best. That we
Hey,
can.
Rob's back. How are you, bud?
I don't want
Hey.
anyone to
Hello.
think that if I'm voting against,
All right.
Spectrum got their stuff together.
including on
Hey, do your old modem reset.
Yep.
Good old Worcester internet. We love it.
I believe
the
that-
best.
Well, Rob, so we talked about the election before. We got all that out of the way. But you got something coming up that you really wanted to talk about. Can you give us the rundown?
Yeah, man. So we're hosting a holiday fundraiser for Friendly House on December 19th at Redemption Rock. It's a great, awesome venue. I'm sure everyone knows that. But no, Friendly House has been a great neighborhood organization. They've been, in Worcester and serving the community for over 50 years. So just wanted to do something to support them. I remember going to Lakeview School, and every year we'd have field trips to Friendly House. So it was just always, growing up knowing what a great organization it is. So I wanted to support them and do something fun. So it's going to be on December 19th from 6 to 8. We're going to be doing, you could buy like quote tickets, on at the door. We're going to come in to donate, and we're going to be doing gift card raffles like every half hour. So, or some like gift packages every half hour where people can throw down $5 and buy a ticket and put their name in the bucket and try and win some prizes. So we're going to hopefully have some gift cards to some good spots and probably a cool Worcester Wares package for all the Worcester geeks. And no, it'll be a good time. I'm hoping to raise some money. All the money's going to go to supporting their after school programming. So I reached out to leadership there, and they had mentioned that, they're already doing a lot of holiday fundraising stuff and gift drives and things like that. But their youth programming that they do year round is really, they're really essential to them to try and help keep the costs low for participating families. So I'm excited to try and work on that, and help, support them. So that is what's coming up.
That's fantastic.
On the 19th, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody head down there if you can. Support. Everybody knows what a great job Friendly House does. Everyone has attended a basketball game there at the very least.
Sure.
Check it out. Head down, support. They do a lot of great work. They do, they're involved with the shelter that's going to be coming up in the Burncoat neighborhood that there was all that drama about a couple months ago. And I think a big, they lend a lot of credibility to anything that they get involved in the city because everybody knows what they're about and what kind of work they do. So
yeah, they do great work with everything.
Yeah, so that's great, Rob. I think everyone should head down for the party. Yeah, I mean, if you stick around if you want for a little bit, if you want to, say anything wild or unhinged, then please, by all means.
Anything? No, I don't know. That's really it. I just wanted to thank you guys for having me on to plug that. I'm gonna listen to the lovely council meeting now and see what's
Great.
doing.
Oh, actually, Rob, before you go, when
Yeah,
you called in, we couldn't hear what you're saying. There's a bunch of stuff going on. Can you just give us a rundown of what you called in to say?
Yeah, no, I was just calling in to really plug that and the event where we had and the election. I don't know, it was a really good experience. Even though we lost by less than 200 votes, it was really like all around a really good experience. I got to meet a lot of new people and learn about what's going on. But and then again with the Human Rights Commission, I think we're going to continue to do the work for police transparency and looking into the hate crimes that are happening in the city, and also working to address the goals that City Manager Batista asked us to work on. But I think it was a good balance what we're doing moving forward. So, but yeah, I'm excited to continue working on that. And the disability advocacy group, we're working on more transportation goals, trying to improve on-demand transportation in Worcester. And we're also working to address accessible housing with Worcester Housing Authority. So that's another big push. We've kind of gone as far as we can with affordable housing when it comes to inclusionary zoning and when it comes to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. So we're really happy about the work we did with them, because now the minimum is 10% accessible housing now in any development that is trying to access some funding from.
Right now.
Yeah. So now we're trying to push the Worcester Housing Authority to really increase the amount of accessible units that they have. Because, I mean, with Curtis Apartments getting rebuilt and with Lakeside, two big projects, but we got to make sure they try and renovate some existing units. What's George going off about?
ADUs.
This is the ADUs. We can hear Joe Petty getting testy with him. And George Russell likes
he
to
does
play.
get testy with George.
George Russell likes to play a little snake in the grass. He like fakes that he doesn't understand things, so that the mayor has to explain them out loud, which is
That is correct.
it's
but
it's a little sneaky.
After the
So Rob, before you head out, because this is
I'm bringing forward
probably
a
just
different
stupid bullshit, but I'm wondering, as a candidate last time who intends to run again in 2 years, how are you thinking about like this year of Worcester politics business and like how you're going to be involved and like what sort of messaging you'll do, and if it like sort of changes things for you thinking about that you're going to be running in 2 years,
I definitely want to just continue to like strengthen relationships with people in the different neighborhoods and just working on connecting with different neighborhood groups, but try to stay involved with different, some of the things I want to pursue is just introducing, like, I know one item I wanted to work on was we're on like trying to create more accessibility in our public spaces and our parks. I think I know the new Bell Park, or the parks up at Bell Pond, they're going to be redoing that. I heard they're going to be putting some like beach wheelchair accessible mats there. So just trying to continue to push, I think, for better accessibility with youth and with public spaces and parks. But I mean, I just try to continue to stay involved with the neighborhood groups and with different initiatives.
recommendation of the planning board removal of the owner occupancy.
How am I going to ice that question? Yeah, I think the one thing I've learned is just to try to compartmentalize things, or at least give yourself a day off. It's hard. It's hard to do that. I think you guys know how infuriating it can be. It's hard to.
Oh yeah.
Turn it off.
we
all in an abusive relationship.
This program is on most nights just a live documentation of us experiencing the abuse that is following city politics in the city. Where like by hour 3.5, we're just like, what the
Then I get up early tomorrow morning and go fight grown men at an MMA gym just to feel better about it. Yeah, Rob, I support violence. I think that's what you should be looking at as a way to.
It might be helpful to, if you don't mind me just giving.
No, I'm just gonna try to stay involved in different ways, and
so the three items,
I think definitely be more like assertive next time. I think being a first time candidate, sometimes I was a little apprehensive to really challenge the opponents on like
just factual information and just sometimes, worrying about pushing the envelope when it comes to just presenting an argument. So I think just as a first-time candidate, I was a little apprehensive at times, but I think seeing now how things operate and how there's misrepresentation sometimes from opponents. That's definitely frustrating to see. So
Hey, come on, no.
So I mean, I think there's still ways that I'm going to stay active and just continue to work with different neighborhoods and learn about what people's needs are and stay on top of what's happening.
Rob, could you give a quick rundown of what you're talking about up on Hamilton Street as well too? You broke a little bit, but I was really curious what you had seen or heard of up there.
Yeah, so there's a barbershop on Hamilton Street, and someone had painted a mural on the side of the building, and it was of an individual. I don't know the background story to it, but during, I want to say September, someone had thrown a bucket of paint on it, and there was a swastika sprayed on it. And unfortunately, it was up there for a few weeks because I don't know, the building owner didn't take care of it, so thankfully repainted now. But if you were to look on Google Maps, just one day I was looking at a property on Google Maps, and the building is still there. The picture of the building was taken during that period. So. But I think it just speaks to that there's these hate groups are operating in Massachusetts, in central Massachusetts, and that doesn't mean that they can't be operating in our community. So I think we as a community got to stomp that out any opportunity we can. So
100%. I mean, I'm sure you keep track of stats too, but I mean, Massachusetts was right behind Texas last year in terms of recruiting for white nationalist groups.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous what we have going on locally.
Scary. It's scary. I think the Globe, what was that? The Globe mentioned that Massachusetts is becoming a navy blue state now.
Yeah.
And I saw that article in the Telegram was that someone just got locked up for making ghost guns out in one of the Brookfields. So I mean, there's yahoos out there. So we gotta make sure, I think, as a community, that we're not afraid to talk about this stuff and stand up to it. So
absolutely
right. The best thing I've done in my journalism career is when I went and I cut down that banner over 190 that said New Englanders will be replaced or something like that. I was just like, oh, fuck that. I took just a pair of kitchen shoes and I went and I cut it down, burned it. It was really fun. It was cathartic.
But also too, I'm excited about what Sue Coughlin's, what Sue Malin's bringing up on school committee, and I think it's important that these things that are happening, that we as a community don't shy away from them, because it's clear that's what happened before. It's really disgusting to see that happen when it comes to instances of sexual abuse. So
Yep. That's actually no wait. That is actually the thing I'm most proud of in my journalism career, and I'm really happy to see.
Don't forget about that, man.
Yeah, I'm really happy to see that. I'm going to write about that this week in the newsletter. I have my notes sketched out, but I'm really happy to see Sue pushing for that so hard, and even kind of pushing for the administration to do more after they came back with their report on it. It was really cool. And Jack Foley's little fuck you on the way out the door to John Manfredo was also of note in that, and I don't think that it really got reported out in the right way. So I'm going to go back and watch the tape and make sure I capture that, because that was really cool.
Okay.
It was he was getting a salutation or something, and he snuck that in there in a really cool way. So, and it was at the bottom of the Telegram story, but it wasn't really captured right. So I'll make sure that in my post tomorrow or on Thursday, I'll have that captured right. Jack Foley's awesome.
He is.
Hell yeah.
Jack Foley's actually the first person that pulled me aside 5 years ago and was like, "Hey, this John Manfredo guy, you got to know something about him." Yeah. So he's been quietly sort of pushing this campaign for a long time, which is good. He's great.
Thank you guys. I'm going to hop off and give my full attention to George.
Yeah, Rob, thank you so much for joining us as always. We love having you
guys.
on.
Really appreciate the support.
Anytime you want to come back on, please do.
I will. Absolutely, man. Thank you guys.
All right. Once again, December 19th, everybody, Redemption Rock for Friendly House. Let's all get out there and support not only a good cause, but Rob doing something great. So that was great. We love to have Rob on.
Mr. Chairman, the way this reads now, I know in District 3, you're going to change the look of College Hill. Up at Holy Cross area, we've had a lifelong battle, it seems like, Councilor Rivera and I, who have opposite sides of College Street, are always dealing with the college issues and the occupancy issues in that neighborhood. And, Mr. Chairman, we've held firm as a city on the...
Oh, Epic Stratton, to get back to the question you asked earlier, the video store is a registered nonprofit. So we should be on all the lists. And the Ground Truth Project, got to look into that.
And have it inspected and have it done.
I got to become a bigwig going after donors kind of guy, you know?
Instead of having 3,
which is, I'm just not a good person to be that person, you know?
There's going to be allowed 6 in those same houses.
So if anyone wants in and wants to be our pitch person,
neighborhood, if this goes
our
through,
that'd be
without a
great.
special permit
Hit me up.
and without all the occupancy requirements. Mr. Chairman, we can talk and talk and talk about this item, and we desperately need the units.
This page could not be found, you said.
Yeah, let's try the link again. There was some additional text on the last one we sent out. So let's try this again.
Just be patreon.com/rewind.
It's a way to move this forward. But I think that the one thing that I cannot accept is to have single-family neighborhoods.
That link should work. And I just put up a post on there explaining what the membership is and what it gets you. And there's a couple sort of ways to use Patreon for the video store that I'm really excited about. One of them is a comprehensive community calendar citywide, like Worcester Magazine used to do. I think that everyone could really benefit from that.
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
That's something
There's
I've
no
heard
one's-
complaints about every
Yeah,
year.
that's huge.
No one's really doing that, and I think I'm halfway through formulating a plan for how to do that without that much work, and it would be through the Patreon. So stay tuned.
Bill replaces Discover Central Mass.
Dude, they don't do fucking shit. I could replace them tomorrow.
I would love that. I would love that immensely.
I didn't catch who it was, but somebody in the comments asked about Holy Cross students and why they keep coming up. So probably about 15 years ago, but definitely like as long as 20 years ago, up on Carrow Street used to be almost all Holy Cross housing, like off-campus housing. And it was just like their party neighborhood, whatever. It was nothing actually out of control. It was not a good mix between a lot of the old timers that were up there, the townies and the students. What's neat though is that the best thing that the school could come up with to deal with the neighborhood complaints was hire Ed Augustus as their community liaison. And that's essentially how we got him back in the region to become city manager. Was after his time doing working as the director or chancellor or dean or whatever of community support. So he took care of housing in the sense of like getting the college students out, and made a bunch of townie angry neighbors happy.
Dude, that guy is just the guy that everyone goes to when they have a thorny problem. Maura Healy's like, hey, we have a statewide housing crisis and it's coming to a fever pitch. What am I going to do? I'll hire Ed Augustus. You know why?
He'll make it worse.
He says negotiating weird, and everyone thinks that makes him smart. So he's perfect. Yeah,
and
we
he's also the one
negotiated.
guy that expects everyone to hate him on some level. So like a failure is still a win in his eyes because it just confirms what he believed was going to happen anyways.
Definitely, I want to be able
Yeah,
to kind of
that's
look
true. He
at
does
it
have that
and
sort of holier than thou.
people buy their
thing going
homes,
on.
and I want to definitely respect that. But I think that as we progress in a city, to know we are the second largest city in New England. We are not a town. We're not.
I'm absolutely sick of that fact.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like it's such a bad faith thing to say. because
is something that
Providence is a
accessible,
smaller
that
city,
this is a
but
city that
Providence's
people wanna go to.
metropolitan
I
area
also want it to be the kind of
is
city
a
that my
lot
children
bigger and a
can
lot
afford to
denser.
buy a house.
If you factored
And that
in
means they should be able
Pawtucket
to add that addition very safely.
and Onlyville to
Another one of my
Providence,
siblings
that's a
can rent
way
and
bigger
help
city.
out
And
with
Providence
a
feels like a
somewhere
bigger city because it fucking is.
or just
Worcester
Well,
is like
they do bigger city shit.
Yeah, nobody
Right.
questions whether or not
But
it's
it
a
also
city.
it is like, as a city, like you said, it's like Los Angeles. Like the city of Los Angeles is
some of
not
these
nearly what
larger
you think of as
homes
Los Angeles, and it's
are
the
not
same
gonna
thing
be
with Providence.
sustainable as people begin to kind of get
Right.
older or
And like
or
in order for that to
they're
work
going
for Worcester, like
smaller and
Webster
we're
would have to
needing more
be
space.
as dense as
Some of those
Pawtucket.
spaces will
Right.
not be
Right. And it's
sustainable
just
for
like
many
that we're not
It's gonna
there.
make opportunity
And
for
like
people
really
to
what Worcester
stay in their
is it's
home
like
and it be sustainable.
you know how like
As
Iraq
we look
and
at this,
Syria
there's never going to
are
be
just
this
like
perfect solution,
countries
but
with fake
I also wanna
boundaries that
remind
are
folks that this
drawn
don't
by
put
the
you
colonial
on the
oppressor,
menu,
but they don't
from an
really make
economic basis.
sense.
It's
And
an
like
economic
they
equity
like
for
they,
folks
they
who
overlap
naturally
like
can't
ethnic
afford
communities that don't get
and
along
or
with
the
each
ability to
other.
stay in it
And it
because
was
of
like a
what's happening
poorly
in
drawn
the
border for colonial purposes.
that,
Worcester is
because
like
they can't
four
afford
towns smushed together with a completely fake
family
downtown.
member who's just starting out
It's
on their
not a
own
city. It's like
Yeah.
legitimately not.
That was a long walk, but I'm with you.
um,
Absolutely with you. And yeah, it's every time I hear Worcester's the second largest city, it's like the guy at the party being like, I'm really cool, right? I'm cool.
Well, I mean, it's also it's a lot of that stuff. Like it becomes a choice, though. Like the way that
it's just a room where they have access to
this
the bathroom.
city council wields its power, the way that we, like give up so much to a city manager that is unelected, unvetted, and also is explicitly in the tank for developers. This whole city's about developer money. And it could be different. And it doesn't have to be a bunch of fiefdoms and a conglomeration of towns like mixed together. But it's it's what people choose to do. And
yeah,
I really hope I get the money to do this project, but I really think that 290 destroyed Worcester's ability to ever be a real city.
And there are issues of
The city planners at the time got rid of all the black neighborhoods with the highway, and in doing so, sealed Worcester's fate forever to have a fake downtown. Because we had a real downtown before 290, and we put it right through the heart of that because we were racist. And it just permanently destroyed Worcester's ability to have a real urban core.
I've never seen this many elderly. I've been talking about
Right. And then, St. Vincent, the Galleria, 145 Front Street, Pollard Park are all just smaller 290s. They're just the same idea, So, yeah, it's not like we've just started sucking yesterday. We've been sucking at this whole being a city shit since the fucking 1960s.
No, but it definitely is something.
Yeah, there's definitely a through line between 290 coming down, the reasons why 290 came down, and why a swastika mural will stay alive on Hamilton Street for a little bit longer than the average person would be comfortable with.
I would hope that if I'm in a situation like I have seen some other people, it's not just I'm stable, thank God.
When was it? It was 1992. A Worcester police officer wore a Ku Klux Klan hood in the locker room of the police station to intimidate a black cop.
Because you can't
Whoa, Dave Hill is here. Hey, what's up, Dave Hill?
think outside ourselves and the needs that we have. And I think
Hi.
as we move on this forward,
Welcome.
because it's ADU again, it's another tool in the toolbox.
We're talking about
here, and this is about growth.
well, let's really dig down into it. You could read an allegory for this story about Worcester and how the highway destroyed the city and marginalized an ethnic group by watching the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. which is the same story and is legitimately a one-to-one for the way that the freeways in LA destroyed ethnic neighborhoods in the city as well.
Totally.
And sold out the city to Standard Oil instead of making it a real city.
Damn, I have to watch that movie again.
How do we continue to progress as a city?
It's the sequel to Chinatown, and it is it's literally, I mean, that's what it's about. It's like it's what they intended in many ways, but even if they didn't, watch the movie in that regard. It is 100% what it's about.
This is another order that I brought up before.
In LA is just a large scale example of Worcester in many ways. Like, it's not a real city.
I called them menopause at the time.
It should be.
My
It's
daughter
the
was
largest
talking about,
metropolitan
getting
area
for
in
me. I
the
said,
United
"Not
States,
that,
one
I'm
of the
not ready
largest
for
in the
that
world,
yet, so we're not discussing
and
it, but it was a good concept.
it sucks.
And I understood it.
I live there. It sucks.
and for all the
There's
reasons
many
that my
amazing things
colleagues
about
have
it.
mentioned,
As a city,
other
it's
types of
not
family members,
like
being
it's
able
not
to
real.
be
It's
supportive,
a
if you lost
conglomeration of small
your
towns
income,
because
Can you
of
imagine?
choices they made back in the
we don't even
1930s.
have to build.
Can you imagine the Worcester
another
version of
unit.
Vanderpump
You
Rules?
could use your basement, as was mentioned, right?
Would just be fucking
So,
Ralph's.
you could
Yeah,
do
I'd
that
live that
anyway
for a year
right
and a half.
now, but this, I guess these rules and regulations would
Like,
make it
oh, the
easier to
worst
do that.
bartender that works here
So
tried to
these
fuck
are
me
the
over on
rules that are
purpose.
designed to ensure that we build properly. And with
I
the
was
rules,
picturing
quit.
Worcester
there's a number
Noir.
of questions that I have about the rules. You know, where can you actually have it? Frontage, setback from street, distance from neighboring properties, height, sewage access, water access. Is an ADU supposed to have
Did this get
independent
heavier than the
utilities?
last time she
We
was
know
on
there are no
screen?
parking restrictions.
This
Where cars
filter?
are supposed to
Or
go,
Vaseline.
especially in winter. And we have
It seems
restrictions on
darker.
paving over yards for parking. Does that get involved in that? Do we get involved in that?
Too much fapping.
So we've been talking
Kate's
about
also on
generalization,
Twitch. She's just on one of those oily channels.
So let's look at my house as an example.
I don't know what.
I live,
I don't want to know
in
what you're
Worcester,
talking about, brother.
on a
Are you suggesting that she's the
7,036 square foot lot,
OnlyFans channel
zoned
that
RS7.
George
Chamber of
Santos-
Chalmers can tell you all about what we're talking
To
about
the
here.
left of my driveway, I have enough room for a 15 by 20 foot ADU. I plan to have 3 stories to maximize this.
I'm so glad we have
as
like
possible.
Fortnite here
With
and
this
guests so that we don't have to
approved by the
actually
planning
listen to
board
this
for a
shit
special
because
permit.
this
What
fucking
if
sucks.
any objections that my neighbors have that would?
It does mean I'll have
They
to listen to
filmed it.
all of it tomorrow,
Our
but
house is
that's
at 8. Will we be restricted to adding, from adding a
Do you
second
watch
or
it on
third
like 2
story on
times
the house
speed?
as an ADU? Is this now? a
no. I
multifamily
take timestamp notes,
live
so I don't have to watch the whole
ADU?
thing. But I have to
The
like
house next door to us, it's a house formerly
like I
owned by
have
my
here
father's
742
father.
ADUs, Rose, owner occupancy, 747 King,
Behind the house,
unamended.
roughly 70 by 30. Could
So I
you put
can,
a 26
it saves
by
me
30
time.
foot single-story ADU
Smart.
in there?
I remember when I was trying to take notes
Planning board for a special
earlier in
permit.
this
And what objections
program's
would the
lifetime.
neighbors have that would
People got
special
so
permit
mad because it was just like
ADU?
click,
And I think that the process as a homeowner, a
which is
developer,
understandable.
because we'll have developers buying properties to add the ADUs.
We
need
learn
to
slow.
have the
But we appreciate
process,
y'all for sticking with us for so long.
outlined,
We've definitely been
Yeah.
doing this for years.
completely with specific.
I just figured out how to use my Whammy bar.
Special permit.
Hi,
And we have
APC
the
burning
ability
net.
to identify how many properties in the city have the
Hey,
so-called
welcome from Australia.
lot. All of those now become buildable
Tell us
lots.
all about drop bears.
Revalue those
Drop bears.
revalue those properties. Now we have different tax classifications. and they
Camber's
obviously
thirsty.
Have a new, much higher value. So there are
I
a
like
number of
Australia.
I didn't even touch some of the questions that I was asked by my
You a Nick
constituents
Cave fan? Oh wait,
uh,
that's New
to,
Zealand.
uh,
Wait,
ask
or is it
about.
Australia?
Don't mix
AP
those two
Burning
up.
Net.
I
Is
think
Nick Cave from Australia or New
the other,
Zealand?
the other thing is, you know,
The
what
birthday party, Nick Cave and
is
the
it
Bad
going
Seeds.
to be? Are we going to have requirements? There's so many different things that we have to have answers to, and we're approving, being asked to approve a broad.
APC Burning Net. There's one guy who does public comment at these meetings who has a vaguely either Irish or English accent, and that's exotic enough that everyone in this chat wants to fuck him. So
the single family owner occupied.
You would clean up here.
you'd clean up here. You should move to Worcester, dude. You'd clean up.
Comparing a Worcester accent to even the worst
rooming houses.
in form of a Australian accent is just like not fair at all.
Yeah, but is a Worcester accent exotic in Australia? Like, kid, like, would that crush?
I have heard from Worcester people who've gone to Australia on tour and stuff that it does indeed crush.
That's ridiculous.
People hear the way we talk in Australia and they're like, oh, like the whole bar gets quiet, you know?
And there were a number of other.
I have a friend that I grew up with in Connecticut that moved to Australia, and every now and again I check in just to like see. She's married, has kids, has a very normal, cool life. Just the threat of spiders is way higher.
Other questions, a lot of other.
The threat of spiders.
That need to be answered.
That was my attempt at an Australian accent.
That was pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. Give me another accent, I'll do it. I'm so good at accents.
I mean, just keep it close, New Zealand.
Did you see the hobbits? We're over here.
That was good. That was really good.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I know how good I am at accents, so I appreciate it.
What about Scottish?
Helping families originally.
William Wallace.
It's just a name.
Edinburgh.
My name's William Wallace, and I'm gonna show my pee-pee to the Brits.
That was my favorite part of the movie when he promised and then did show his pee-pee to the Brits.
That's one of those lines that'll go down in movie history.
It's like Scott. This is how we win, right? They don't like to show their peepees. We do. That gives us an edge.
We love to show our peepees.
Kids that are going to try to buy a 3-family.
Freedom.
I missed. What did Sarai say?
Oh, who cares, dude?
Nothing dumb. I think it's going down. The ADU thing is going down.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the vote. All of this stuff. APC burning that. Do not get me started on that.
Wait, is APC burning that in Australia?
Yeah, in one of the normal countries that reinvests its ill-gotten colonial gains into providing free healthcare for everyone.
Australia.
In America, we just say go fuck yourself.
Yep, our insurance system is GoFundMe.
Yep, don't get me started. How did I pull a Vivek? Did I
shredded on the show?
Did I become God Emperor of Vardenfell? Did I unite House Haleyu, House Redarin, and House Telvanni under one banner in Vivek City?
Their kids can't even live there. I want my kids to live in Worcester if they choose.
Keep up.
Did I keep the corpus stemming from the volcano in the middle of the island at bay?
He pissed with his mic on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's actually I'm sorry if people aren't aware of the lore of this channel before this specific show. That's actually a Doug Gurton. Doug Gurton fully pissed on camera on one of our 2020 pandemic streams.
It was one of the funniest, like second funniest night. Yeah, the comedian that fell asleep on stream is still my favorite. I don't know how because he's doing so much better now, but that was my favorite.
Yeah, that was pretty special.
However, I will say that
Didn't I piss during a moment of silence?
Yep. Yeah.
Change my position on.
That's so cool.
The idea that this doesn't involve specifically family members. However, and that's a big however. However,
USA, is it true New York size? Yes.
Don't know what that means, but yes.
No, I do. It's yes.
All of us who have been on this council, whether we're new or been on
here we
a
go.
decade or longer,
Mo Bergman burying this.
Mo
thing
Bergman, say something racist challenge. Ding, ding, ding.
Problems are endless. And there is no
What are the notes for that Kill Bill thing?
No doubt in my mind whatsoever that if it becomes a matter of right that a single family can become a 2-family, and a 3-family can become a 4-family,
You know what I'm talking
whatever you
about,
want
the
to call it, an
sirens.
extra ADA unit. It adds another unit of rent. There will be investors from outside of Worcester that will come in here, and it's been said by my colleagues already this evening. They will scoop up those properties, make those properties harder for our own children and grandchildren to purchase. But most importantly, they will make those properties.
It's a lie. It doesn't even pass the logic test.
Landlords, and it was said before, but I think it was Council
No,
Rose.
you know it's going to make it harder for
If I'm
your.
in a neighborhood in a property, I don't
Listen,
expect somebody to have to
I'm all
call,
look.
LLC in Boston.
Let's do owner occupied across the board. Shit, I'm down for that.
That's just problematic. It's a heck of a lot easier to go next door and tell your neighbor.
And only related people living together.
Your tenants.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to see Mo start like
issue,
putting neighborhood
we've
petitions
seen
together
in
to
this
ban
city
people
of
from
late,
fostering
particularly,
children.
is the eviction process. Can you imagine if there is?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
had to
adopt
I
or get
live-
out.
If you
doesn't have a right.
they would have to give up their properties if they don't live there, then they can't own a property, and that opens up a lot of properties that it would drive the market down.
Right, and we'll move them to like a particular part of the city that's closed in, like an open air prison, and we'll keep them there for a couple years until we find like something like a work camp or something outside of the city limits to move them to, and then we'll move them all by train, right?
We have a rental register,
Yeah.
which we've been told it will take years for a number of.
I mean, that just makes sense.
To be looked at. Yeah,
I think
can't
it's good
imagine
policy.
the issues regarding safety that these new dwellings are going to take up city resources. We don't have the staff to inspect these new dwellings. And then we're going to tell people that they're safe and you should pay top rent. And that's another issue I want to bring up. And I couldn't agree more with what's just been said. People that are going to pay money, construction costs are up, to develop these units are probably going to be taxpayers. Just told us that that's what's going to happen. They're not going to be giving these units away. So while they are going to create additional, the same folks that can't afford
APC, you're literally going to get zero arguments here about America sucking. We all agree.
in somebody's
America is the worst place on earth. F team Matt.
Probably, if we're going to add a significant
Absolutely
number of
not
units,
ripping a Squire, although Squire does make some nice guitars. I am ripping a
making sure that the
SG
units that get added are done in a way that are safe and then done in
with a
properties
tremolo
that
bar,
the owners remain.
SG Special,
Not doing it that way.
2011.
Just add at least one other thing regarding
P90
single-family
pickups.
homes. No, I look
Sick.
around
I love
this
this.
room and a lot of people live in
I used to have a
single-family
Guitar Hero controller like that.
and I don't understand why there's
Well,
some
that's it,
sort
man.
of aggressiveness towards people who
It's an
want to have
SG
a private
Special.
single-family home or have a backyard where they don't have to share with someone else. I chose to do that.
Who wants you to play some Alice in Chains or Nirvana?
That are sketchy
Installed
or
afterwards by Converge's Guitar Tech.
That's my right. There are people in the city that have done that over and over again, have the expectation that the neighborhoods are going to stay the same.
I gotta learn
sit on the
man in the
zoning
box.
board. I know others have visited the zoning board, and perhaps some of my colleagues have been members of the zoning board. When somebody would come in and want to put a business in a residential neighborhood, there'd be an uproar. Why? Because the neighbors would say, we bought a house in a neighborhood that's a residential neighborhood. We didn't expect there to be a business next door. I understand.
Yeah,
that
but if it's a
logic.
rub and
Why
tug,
is
I
that
might be
logic any
interested.
different when somebody says, I bought a house in a single family neighborhood. I didn't expect to have tenants in my neighborhood. I expected everybody to own their homes and neighbors to have single family.
Oh no,
homes.
tenants.
I don't think that's a sin. I think we represent everybody. I represent people who
Oh,
are
fuck
multi-families,
off,
and
dude,
I
I hate
represent people that own single family homes. And,
It
you know,
really
I hear
does speak
comments
to,
like, there's a better utilization of land. You know,
how the
that's
city council just isn't taking any aspect of housing issues seriously in the city, right? Like they,
if it's legal. If I
I mean, you're listening to them like othering anyone who is not a homeowner right now. It's like, and then we still actually expect them to take, you know, rent crises or just general
I'm not going to suggest
numbers
that we have to
seriously.
eliminate
It's
single family zoning,
garbage.
even though some people may not like to hear that, because some people feel that there's no such thing as somebody owning a single family home. They have no right to do that, or their rights should be limited. I think everybody's rights are what they are as far as under the law. And if you bought a home,
What the fuck is he talking about? Who? Why does he think that people saying that they want to change zoning means that you're not allowed to own a single family home? Is he like?
With the exception of the
This guy's
special
fucking
permit law
obtuse.
we already have in place, which has existed in the city since at least 1991, which works well and which makes each specific case.
I'm
excuse
eating
me,
kielbasa
such that
and
neighbors could weigh in on how
mac
they
and
feel about
cheese
changing the
that I
single-family
made
neighborhood to multifamily zone.
myself.
Let me
Damn
just
it.
finish by saying this isn't only about single-family neighborhoods. I have deep, deep concerns about multifamily neighborhoods and the issues of parking. You know, we had a proponent, probably the strongest, most visible
He has
proponent
deep,
in multifamily
deep
neighborhoods,
concerns.
Gary Vecchio. He would come into neighborhood meetings all the time and address the issues in parking, particularly in the winter, in multifamily neighborhoods. I don't know how we can expect that in the three-deckers throughout the city that adding another unit is not going to cause parking problems, particularly in the wintertime. And, you know, to totally ignore that by saying we don't need a process.
I just learned man in a
is
box.
problematic to me. Again, just to summarize,
Nice.
I can live with pretty much the problem with neighbors that have nobody that will respond to their concerns. And that's an absolute landlord. And lastly, I have to respect
That song is so
single
sick.
home ownership neighborhoods as much as I do the multi-family home ownership neighborhoods. And I don't think anybody has the right to say one has any priority over the other. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Why does he think? Why do they have to be separate neighborhoods? Why is it a single family neighborhood versus multifamily neighborhood? Like,
Well, Bergman's been very explicit, and this is the thing that really fucking gets me every time, is that like he purchased the right to live in a single family neighborhood.
Maybe.
And that's like a class signifier for him, but he's
Thank you, Madam
he's
Chair. And I want to thank the Economic Development Committee.
portraying it as a consumer choice. Some people choose to live in single family neighborhoods. Other people choose to live in, you know, neighborhoods with less zoning restrictions. And he downplays the class element of it hardcore to fit this bad faith argument.
Tool in the toolbox for the city of Worcester.
right? Yeah, and it's you know, when the fucking free market catches up to you and moves into your neighborhood, all of a sudden it's a big, you know, hullabaloo.
It's like we can create more housing everywhere but the place where I live.
Other cities and towns that have passed this without any restrictions, have they seen?
Have you just tried being less poor, Bill?
Through the chairwoman to the mayor.
Yeah, really
I think,
hard all of
one
my
the
life.
things
It hasn't
that
worked out
data
so far.
doesn't support is that maybe there's no restrictions at all. The units
I might be poor, but I can play Alice in Chains.
data about the production of these units across
So-
the Commonwealth and communities that have a variety of different approaches to the framework.
I had to go to Guitar
Can someone get in touch with Oliver and see if he'd be willing to fight Santa Claus? We got like the perfect angle for it right now. If he just turns around and just whips something at Santa Claus's head.
Things that are referenced often is proposed because this is in a number of master plans across the Commonwealth as well. One of the top issues that comes up is just the character of a neighborhood, particularly the single-family environment. And what's been happening for years is that hasn't really manifested.
I love the conversation that's happening in the chat right now.
Produced, and so it's kind of here or there, and it doesn't like totally transform, you know, the neighborhood environment.
What's going on in the chat?
Just a lot of profanity.
A bunch of people calling themselves.
Watch your profanity.
I might be a bloody cunt, but I ain't no tosser.
Recommendation.
Be like that.
And I think this is important. I think we need something passed here tonight to get the ball rolling.
Sure.
Accept the owner occupancy.
At least I cannot impregnate Spice Girls. Love
So, in the spirit of
that comment.
compromise here, I will agree with Councilor Rose's recommendation that we have owner
Oh, Joe Petty agrees on Councilor Rose's recommendation. What a fucking surprise.
tonight is owner occupancy. Because I think the more restrictions you do put on it, especially when you even do the special permit, you're not going to get people to do it. And that defeats the whole purpose. And that's been proven. I think you said maybe in previous reports, the more restrictions you have, the less usage you have in getting this done.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilor Mara Carlson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This certainly has been a great discussion on council floor. as Council Russell mentioned, he had raised this some time ago. Council Bergman raised this some time ago, as well as Councilor Toomey, trying to add additional units in our city. I think it's a great idea for us to do that.
Sound off in the chat. Do you like Brendan's view, or should we watch the
That in the
stream?
last couple of weeks, I have not received as many phone calls as I have over this particular item and the concerns that people have.
I'm gonna skip Candy's
Yes,
whole
I
thing.
think
I'll
we
be
all
back.
know that we're in a housing crisis, but I also
Oh
believe,
God, she's already making me so mad. Yeah,
as
I'll be back.
Councilor Bergman stated, as well as my colleague, Councilor Russell, there are people who bought in single-family neighborhoods. And I quite honestly think that Council Rowe's amendment is a good amendment because it gets us, it doesn't get us 100% there.
I kind of
but
dig
it
her
certainly
sweater.
gets
Do we
us
want to take a moment to
a
just
good
acknowledge my
place.
loadout here?
And I just want to say on the parking piece,
So, well, I can't see it because I got the
I know
G-Wagon
that
now,
there
but
isn't another councilor
solid gold, one mythic.
who is in this room who has talked about parking more
I don't know what
than
that
I
means.
have in
All
district
gold weapons.
because of the Canal District,
Hey,
because
look.
of Shrewsbury Street, and because of
You just set
Belmont
standards for
Street.
yourself.
And if
You know?
anybody thinks
I'm happy
Hey,
you're
listen.
happy.
that there is a mother who
He's
bought
chosen to
a home
live in a neighborhood that's
on
all
one of
gold
our
weapons.
city
And
Remember when I was telling you guys how I used to be on the Mass Pike wearing my banana costume and I left the top of it
walk
hang
anywhere
out the
near
sunroof? That's
her
exactly
home
what it looks like with the G-Wagon
and
here.
has to take her baby carriage
Just a little
along
nubbin
with
sticking out the
her
top. That's
groceries
the way I commuted
to get
to and from
home.
Boston.
If anybody thinks in certain parts of this city that we don't have a parking issue, I got to tell you something. You might want to take a real good look at some of these neighborhoods. We can take a look at just Merrifield Street off of Belmont Street. Okay. And for us to
Thanks, George
pretend
Seption.
that it's okay to have no parking, I think is really, we're kidding ourselves. Again, because of the fact that there is a housing crisis, you know, I think that what Council Rose has offered here tonight as an amendment is a good amendment. But I can't sit here and let people think and have people say that parking isn't an issue. Parking is a real issue when you have people with mobility issues, and parking is a real issue when you have mothers and dads and siblings who have children who are in a baby carriage and they need to take their child along with their groceries and truck it.
yeah, it'll probably be with the
And that
single,
is
I mean,
some
the
of
owner
cases
occupied
of these neighborhoods in our
um,
city. I mean, that is the
amendment to it.
reality of, yes, our city is growing. Yes, we need more housing. There's no question. There isn't a counselor in this room that doesn't know and understand that we need more housing.
There
But
are many
is
that are
no
not willing to
way
do anything
and
about
there
it,
is
though.
no proof anywhere that says an ADU will be an affordable unit. There is no place because, quite honestly,
Okay, do fucking
for
rent
900
control then.
square feet, I'm going to tell you something.
Easily solve all this shit is solvable. All the things that you got a problem with right now,
right
fucking
now.
solvable.
36 units
Yeah, legit.
right now.
What are
in
your
my district
solutions?
that are
Right.
$2,200 a month. Okay. And they happen to be 700 square feet. So if anybody thinks that these are going to be affordable, I think we're kidding ourselves. I hope that they're affordable to our kids and to those who are lucky enough to still have their parents. I hope that that's what we're doing here because I know that that was our intent. But
This
Mr.
is the
Chairman,
lady that runs
I sit
consistently
here tonight
runs on the
ready
idea that
to support Council
she
Rose's amendment.
can bring the developers into the city, and then
Anybody else?
was the first person to try and fucking kneecap
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
affordable
Sadly,
housing when it came up
folks have been very
less
clear
than
tonight
3
where
months
they
ago.
are on
Has done everything that
owner
she can to
occupancy,
make
Mr.
sure that
Chair.
rents are as high as possible in this city. The fucking gall to say that you can't
think that,
build an apartment for your
we have
grandmother
to
in the
lead to the
backyard because it
economic
might not be
development,
affordable when you
on this matter.
have
We
fucked
unanimously
over so many
supported
people in this
planning
city
board's
openly.
recommendations. that are before us
Yeah.
today about the motion to support is important.
What a horrible
Also,
fucking person.
It's quite clear that the votes just simply are not there, Mr. Chairman. They're not there. What I will also say is that folks do have the goal of aging with dignity. I received a call just
APC,
today,
they're called fucking dollary dues. Okay? If you were really Australian, you know that.
Additional space for her parents who are currently living in the homestead.
They're still talking about it.
For a host of reasons. They need more opportunity to age in place.
Beware internet trolls. Brian's ginned up.
So we have to do something.
I'll come down there. I'll give you an opposite swirly.
Who's a senior, who was in the bank taking the last of his savings because his rent went up $600 in 1 month. And so when you think about owner occupied, you think about the family piece, you think about parking. We've waived parking requirements for big developers. We've waived parking requirements. Part of our inclusionary zoning waives parking requirements, Mr. Chairman. But not when it comes to individual families. We're not willing to. Individual people who've worked their entire life here in the city and need additional support to age with dignity.
That is
or to have
the
their
Worcester way.
grandchildren remain there to help them age with dignity. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to withdraw my motion.
Yeah, really.
There is not the support here for the planning board's recommendation. We have at least 6 or 7 who have been very clear they'll only support with the owner occupancy requirement, Mr. Chairman. As such, I'll support Councilor Rose's motion that we move forward with the only restriction being owner occupancy. I do wish, if I had my druthers, Mr. Chairman, that we'd be able to move forward without restriction. There's nothing that prevents us from amending that ordinance in the future if it becomes an issue. We've unfortunately not listened to the facts. We had our economic development representative here indicate that there has not been a enhanced production of units anywhere in this Commonwealth, anywhere in his research, regardless of restriction. Hasn't happened.
Okay, so this is frustrating. Are we actually, in lighter news, are we actually going to do a live meetup of
Mr. Chairman, I withdraw my motion.
the union?
Okay, thank you.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
So the first motion. Okay, we're going to vote on this now. And our first motion is to.
Jenny invited me to the inauguration. Should I try and get kicked out of it?
The first 2 recommendations of the planning board, which is A and B.
Do you have a big obnoxious camera that you could just carry around?
I'm dressed as Donna Calorio.
And B, elimination.
I try and go up on stage.
Gross floor area in the size limitation in favor of only 900 square feet limit. And
Oh,
also
wow.
and
All right.
Organization is recommended by Peter Dunn.
What's happening?
Whoa.
Chamber of Commerce is threatening to reveal themselves if we do a live in-person meetup of the Commenters Union.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
And appreciate the work and time they took the time to do this. So
Don't threaten me with a good time.
then after that passes, we'll go to Council Russell's item on
Mr. Chairman,
the
won't
special
that
permit.
already have passed at that point? Wouldn't an amendment be first?
This is Shaun, Council Rose's is an amendment. He was the first amendment to this, and you have the second amendment.
So we're voting just on the amendment, or are we voting on the whole item?
The whole item as amended. So then we'll go to yours for a special permit after that. Okay.
That was really fun when Shaun. Who did he?
Yeah.
He. There was some guy, and he told him to go fuck himself.
Roll call.
Councilor Burton?
Yes.
Councilor Gloria?
Yes.
Councilor Haji? Councilor King?
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson? Councilor Nguyen?
No.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
Councilor Russell?
Yes.
Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor Petty?
Yes. Then we have Council Russell's recommendation for a special permit in single residential zones,
Single-family zones.
single-family zones only.
Council Bergman,
Yes.
Council Caloria,
Yes.
Council Haji,
I'm sorry, could you repeat that again?
So the motion is, Councilor Russell has put a motion forth that you need a special permit in single-family zones.
No, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Carlson, Council Nguyen,
No.
Council Rivera,
No.
Council Rose,
No.
Council Russell,
Yes.
Council Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
No.
So then, Mr. Mayor, that motion fails. It's 5-6.
Okay.
What was it? Was it 7-4 on the
I think so.
Okay.
on your occupancy?
Okay, we need a vote to first, we need a vote to advertise. Is that correct? Yeah. So the motion is to advertise what we just passed.
Councilor advertising. Bergman.
Yes.
Council Caloria,
Yes.
Council Haji, Council King,
Yes.
Councilor Carlson, Council Nguyen, Council Rivera.
Okay, 1v1 here, guys. This could be it.
Whoa.
Oh, sick. All right, throw this up on the big.
Motion is to reconsider. Roll call.
Council Bergman,
No.
Council Caloria,
No.
Council Haji, Council Rivera, Council Rose,
No.
Council Russell,
No.
Council Toomey,
No.
and Mayor Petty.
No. Okay, that brings us, hang on.
Does your suit get more brown as the game goes on?
Yes, I'm a banana.
All right. So what was the final on that?
So the owner occupancy restriction.
Yo!
Hey!
You just win that? You want it?
I did. I killed 99
Winner.
people, Bill.
Winner,
Guys, we're
winner,
real
banana
streams.
dinner.
We're real streamers.
So sick.
Good job, dude. How many kills?
I don't know.
Council Haji, Council King, Council Carlson, Council Nguyen, Council Rivera, Rose, Russell, Council Toomey,
Yes.
Mayor Petty.
All
Brendan
right.
Square.
That was great fucking timing, Brendan.
Good, it was good timing. I saved it for
Incredible.
all of you.
Yeah. So what? Sorry. What was the final? on
What was the vote?
The ADU?
So I was like half paying attention. I got to be honest, but the owner occupancy restriction that Councilor Rose proposed, that is the version of it that passed. And I think it was a 7-4 vote, but I have to check again because I didn't get everybody's vote.
Yeah,
on
I think that's what it was too, but I don't trust myself.
And honestly, I don't even know what happened with the speed limit, nor do I particularly care. But I mean, if it passed, that's great. If it didn't, then that's also great. Whatever. What happened with the speed limit? Anybody catch that?
They did. I was very distracted. I can't. Things just pass through my brain. And I'm an experiential person. In the moment, I could be like thinking really hard about, Roger Rabbit or an Australian.
If we have anybody in the chat in the union who is a lawyer or in law school, your assignment is to start thinking through the best way to help Worcester homeowners condo their properties so you don't have to worry about the owner occupancy provision that they just voted in. Mo being the smartest lawyer in Worcester. Let's just figure out creative ways to make him look like a moron. Because really what they just did was just make everyone in the council agree to something. Like legally, there's 15 million ways you could get around what they just put on paper. All they did was just complicate it slightly for some people.
Yeah. And they spent a lot of time showing exactly who they are as people to do little.
They did nothing. They really did nothing. Like if you wanted to violate what they just did, it would be as simple as selling your house to a condominium or creating an association out of your property.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that one of these rules, similar rules that Worcester's had in the books for a long time, about how there can't be any more than 4 unrelated people living in a residence. I was able to skirt that for many years in my first Worcester apartment, and literally had an inspector come to my house one time, and I just told him that one of my roommates was my brother. And he was like, okay, cool. And he left. So yeah, it's like the owner occupancy thing is just not going to be followed. And
no, I mean, Bill, I mean, this would be something that might be fun for you to look at because it's an even more glaring hole is how many single family residences that are lived in by the families that own them, but it's an LLC that owns the property. Right. Like, I mean, that's just that's a perfectly normal and healthy form of tax evasion for all sorts of well-rounded Americans. Right. Like
we love it.
What they just did, it really means absolutely nothing. But Mo showed up for his racist, bigoted constituents who just don't want neighborhoods to change.
Right.
Yeah.
Marky
RI. Sorry you couldn't hear anything. We were having fun.
It's a holiday stream. We're trying some stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we if you guys don't like that, we won't do it anymore. Give us feedback on it. We're just having a little fun trying something out. But it's more, it's about the city council stream show. So tell us how you want it to be. And ideally, like in the moment too, so just tell us we're being fucking morons.
It'd be fun.
It was worth it for seeing Brendan win.
Brendan did actually win, and that's not that's kind of a rare thing in Fortnite, right? To like actually win a whole round.
Well, it's 1 out of 90, 1 out of 100 every game. But Epic really packs these lobbies with bots these days too. So if you play smart, you can see like where the gunfights that are going on forever are. Those are always bots. You hunt them down, you get your numbers up, clear out the field, and then it's just 1 or 2 people you got to worry about at the end. I haven't spent too much time doing this at all, Bill.
I was gonna say, arguably doing it on stream though is more challenging.
Yeah, you can watch it.
Yeah,
performance anxiety.
So yeah, the ADU ordinance passed with the single family. The owner occupancy, not the single family.
And no blood ties, which is pretty progressive for Worcester.
Yeah, shockingly.
We aren't going to be enforcing blood bonds.
Speed limit item got sent to traffic and parking. Unanimous. My t-shirt is Bret the Hitman Hart. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be, greatest professional wrestler of all time. And my personal hero. So most of my clothes are Bret Hart related in some way, you'll notice.
Or wrestling related.
Yeah. I got like a thing.
Classic movie.
There's a thing. There's like 2 or 3 things I like, and I stick to them.
You call it a brand.
Yeah, I got the brand is strong. The brand is strong. So I mean, that's exactly. We thought it was a 2-issue night. It ended up being a 2-issue night. It wasn't the worst way that it could have gone. I mean, like Riley mentioned that earlier. That owner occupied is not the worst thing in the world, so if that's how it passes, whatever. Like, we said there's ways to skirt it if you need to skirt it. And the most important thing is that this is for people that are trying to take care of family members, mostly, but if it's a friend or something like that, there'll be ways to get around it, and we'll do our damnedest to broadcast those ways as soon as we figure them out.
Just say they're your brother.
Just say they're your brother. Honestly, that's what it comes down to in Worcester at all times. Like, is lie confidently,
Mm.
and no one was willing to do the work to find out.
Or if you're going to go out drinking, dress like Fred Durst.
Yeah, and crash into the cop station, and they'll just love it.
Just always dress like Fred Durst.
Yeah. I think I'm going to dress like Fred Durst from now on. I'm putting away my wrestling clothes, and I will now have a red Yankees hat turned backwards.
Oh yeah, that's sick. Anyone who wants to come out and check out Rewind, I'll be there tomorrow for a couple hours. I think like 1 to 4. If you want to come down, 116C June Street, come say hey. That's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
nice little
yeah.
spot.
You don't hear the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald?
Wow.
I won't. I'm not. I was just about to try to sing the whole song. But I'm not gonna.
Bill, do you know White Cliffs of Dover? Cliffs of
Only
Dover.
on
Just
guitar.
Cliffs of Dover.
Only on Guitar Hero.
Yeah. So, Bill's got a sold out show coming up this week that you can't get into, but you should try and sneak in anyways because Jay Mascis is going to be there, and that's cool as hell.
I'm gonna try to shoot my shot with Jay Mascis and ask him if he wants to sit in on one of the Rocky songs we're doing and rip a solo. I'll try to get him up for sound check. Be like, "Yo, what's up, Jay, my brother?"
Then afterwards, if it goes well, ask him if he wants to be on this show.
Yeah, right. Hey, Jay Mascis, you want to come talk about Western Mass? He'd be like, "Oh yeah, I love Western Mass."
Yeah, he'll do it too. So make sure that you're sneaking into that. Make sure that you're signed up for WorcesterSucks.email. Worcester Sucks, and I love it. The greatest Substack in the city of Worcester. Sorry, city manager. This thing sucks. Get Shaun's bad advice column every week on that as well. Make sure that you are following us at WCT3000 and buying our t-shirts from WCT3K.StoreEnvy.com. Got some great designs. We got some quality t-shirts. They honestly are great shirts. They're just nice to wear. Look at that shirt. Look at that shirt in that store. Look at that guy. We love that guy, and he's got a baby. We hate this guy. We hate our sponsor. We love these guys. Come on down to Ralph's on December 17th. Let me just double check the time on that. I think it's at 7. I think 7 is doors on that. But there's going to be Mama Roo, your last chance to have Mama Roo for the year, and he's doing a very, very special dog, I assume. I haven't gotten the lowdown on the menu yet, but there should be some good stuff on there. And Decimation Deli is going to be there as well. They do great stuff. A lot of surprises. There's something going on. I'm getting scant details about what is happening, and that makes me think that there's a large surprise planned. And I don't know what it is, and I can't wait to find out what it is. So do that. January 19th, we got another show at Off the Rails, the sort of late show with Shaun Connolly. We got a big guest. Mike Shue is going to be our guest. Kool-Aid George, one of the coolest photographers and artists in the city. Danya Traumer, one of my favorite comedians in the world, currently in the running for the Boston Comedy Awards as a rising star comedian. Pretty great. Musical performance by Casket. Our boy Sam, one of our favorite musical guests to have on. Our producer Travis Duda will be there, being stuck behind the stage in a very small area.
Dude, I had so much fun. I can't wait. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, we got some good stuff planned. So come on out to that. Tickets are pretty cheap, and we love doing it there. We love being at Off the Rails. It feels like a real big deal show when we're there. So please come support it. It's going to be a very fun time. And the 19th of this month, December 19th, next week, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Redemption Rock, the holiday fundraiser for Friendly House that's hosted by Rob Bellata. Come on down. He's doing a bunch of raffles, and it's going to be a blast. Grab a beer. grab a seltzer. We still on tap there? You guys are still on tap there, right? That's my favorite thing to order there. So I hope so.
I think so. The Fizzle Fiend.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Get your sucks mug.
Get your sucks mug.
BigCartel.com. Sucks mug.
Sucks mug. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, give us feedback because we want to keep doing games. We want to keep have Brendan doing victory royales, and if you want more of that, then let us know the best way to do it because we're having fun here and
we're just
gotta
hanging
do
out.
something. We gotta do something to make our lives okay. This show is making our mental health worse.
Just taking a little bit of the joy every week.
No, hold on. I have something to say. It's really important. I have something to say. The legend lives on from the Chippewa and down of the big lake they call Gitchagoon.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Bill, take us out. We love you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
When the skies of November turn gloomy.